Yunwu felt that the ground under his feet was constantly shaking, and seemed to hear the howling sound of the fast-running animals. Is the herd afraid? Cloud danced, slightly surprised. What kind of power? Just the sound can let the fierce, bloodthirsty warcraft here escape? People outside the tower, open the border for me. I may be able to spare your life. That hoarse voice pulled a voice, once again, into the public ear. It seems that because I haven't spoken for a long time, I can't speak clearly. Inside the tower, what can you do if I don't open it for you? The cloud dances, the Mao Guang is one of my, the corner of the mouth Yang is putting on a sneer. Haha, a girl with a little ability and courage. The old man laughed. Even the laughter came out with strength. Although I can't get out, it's more than enough to kill you. It's easy to kill us. Isn't this border still open for you? The cloud dances. The eye ground is suffused with pure light. The corner of the mouth is raising a touch of cool radiant. The old man's desire to leave the prison is his biggest shortcoming. It's sure to save his life. Hearing this, the old man was silent for a while. Then he said in a hoarse voice, I'll give you a chance. If I can't open it, I'll take your life. Dragon pour evil coagulate mountain peak. The eyes inside, slightly think. The smile of the corner of the mouth has dispersed. Lu Bai, who has been following them all the time, still looks empty when he hears the old man's voice. But there is a chill in his dark eyes. Zhou Feiyu has been paying attention to his abnormal. He will wipe Senhan completely in the eyes. Awe-inspiring mouth slightly move. Sharp eyes ponder. What's the connection between Lu Bai and the old man? Oh! Cloud dance mouth, slightly pull smile voice. Can't say is satire or sneer. You can't open the border. Do you think we can? The old man laughed, and the sense of suffocation in his hoarse voice became more and more obvious. In addition to Huang Yingying, only her offspring can enter the boundary. Only the blood of the clean, which family can enter the boundary. You girl, is that Huang Yingying's offspring? Blood? The cloud dances and hears the words. The eyes meditate. Suddenly, her face changed. When she thought of fighting with the beast, she hurt her arm. Just a little blood, she didn't care much, so she wiped, applied some medicine, and didn't make a sound. Now think about it. Before entering the dense road, she threw away the gauze with blood. Is it because of the blood? However, soon the clouds and the corners of the mouth rose. It seems that her mother is really powerful, and she can trap the old man with terrible power for more than 10 years. You. Just as Yunwu was about to say something, he was interrupted by the dragon's evil words. How can you be imprisoned here by my mother? Is it not enough? Dragon Qing evil eyes flow dark. Looking at the mountain, smile again. Wen Yin, cloud dance. Zhou Feiyu and Lu Bai are slightly stunned. Long Qingxie secretly cast a wink at cloud dance, and the corner of his mouth was covered with a smile of evil spirit. Yunwu looks at his smile, frowns slightly, and a trace of complexity passes through his eyes. This man, he is taking her danger to himself. Although I didn't see the old man, I could understand from the breath around that the old man's strength had surpassed the four of them. In this old man's words, we can judge that the old man's temper is uncertain and moody. Even if the border is opened, it is not possible that he will let them go. So, if you want to leave here safely, you have to kill the old man. And the old man's first goal is her, Huang Yingying's blood. So it's you. If your mother didn't use a trick to lead me into this border, did you think she could trap me? When the old man heard the speech, his voice was suddenly overcast, and the killing intention between the words was everywhere. All of a sudden, the dark green vines and trees on the four sides of the mountain seemed to be shaken by something, constantly toppling and collapsing. In an instant, the trees around the peak were flattened. This moment of everything, just from the old man's anger? Cloud Dance looked at the fallen trees. Heart is surprised. Surprised eyes have so a subtle Zhengran. It's just a voice of anger mixed with spiritual power. It has such great power. Who is trapped in a dragon Qing evil looking at flattened all around. Always calm eyes, but now dark and terrible. The corner of the mouth Yang, bloodthirsty. Wizwin? Or higher. Even he can't see it. It seems that this old man can't stay. Even if I can open this border, I will open it if I know that you will kill me when you come out for revenge. Long Qingxia's bloodthirsty eyes look at the entrance of the mountain, with scarlet awns like fierce prison. What did you say? As soon as the old man heard the dragon's heresy, he would not open the border. His angry voice suddenly sounded, shaking the whole forest. Do you want to die? Long Qingxia has deep meaning to coagulate one-eye cloud dance. Yunwu knows what he wants to say. If you want to get the summoning temple map inside, you must open the border. Can open the consequences of the border will inevitably face the old man. Perhaps it will be a life and death struggle. But for Cloud Dance, life and death are always with each other. If you want what you want, you must fight for it. Even if you break your teeth, you will swallow it with blood. This is her real Cloud Dance. Now, Cloud Dance looked back at Zhou Feiyu and Liu Bai and winked at them. Two people clear, slightly jaw-head. And at this moment, suddenly, a touch of purple figure rushed away in the air and jumped straight to the border peak. She followed 3 residual shadows at the same time. In midair, Yunwu nips the wound on her arm, which is not bleeding again. The blood drips down with her in the air, and there seems to be some fluctuations in the air. In a flash, the 4 entered the entrance of the mountain. At that moment, the old man seemed to feel that the border had been opened. As soon as he was about to leave, he found that the border was still unbroken, and his eyes were full of murders. How dare you play with him? At this time, the 4 of them have entered the mountain. It was dark all around the mountain. Only a faint candlelight was on. The wall was extremely smooth, and there were 2 openings in it. A dragon wall. It's a beast wall. It looks mysterious. The spiritual power here is very strong. It seemed that they all come from that direction. The Cloud Dance's Mao Guang to look at the entrance of the fierce beast wall, slightly frown. And the aura of spiritual power was obviously emitted from the old man. How dare you play with me? I think you are looking for death. The old man's angry roar came out of the beast door. All of a sudden, the whole mountain rocked violently and roared like thunder. Yunwu found that the walls inside the mountain were full of cracks, and some places had been completely broken into gravel. It was probably caused by the old man's continuous destruction in the past 10 years. The mountain had already come to the point of collapse, but it didn't fall because of the support of the border outside. The Cloud dances the Mao light to pass, to put on surprise. Didn't expect this boundary incredibly so strong. Suddenly, a black shadow and the beast door appeared in front of them. Come on, it's too fast for them to touch. After seeing clearly, an old man with white eyebrows, wrinkled face and proud eyes has already stood in front of them. The old man was dressed in a black robe. He was as pale as a dead man. The wrinkles on his face could kill flies. His thin lips were black and purple, and he was tight. His body was entangled with a dark mist. The breath can only be described in 2 words: dark. I thought you would run away, but I sent you to the door by myself. It seems that I really underestimate you. Miet Song looked at the Cloud Dance with a sneer, and then looked at the eyes to the dragon. Are you Huang Yingying's son? Dragon Qing, evil, slightly jaw-head, mouth yawn with a smile, is. When the old man heard the words, the dark eyes suddenly changed color, and a sense of killing suddenly appeared. Open the border, I'll spare your life. Long Qingxia glanced at him lazily. The evil spirit in the corner of his mouth was outlined, but the bottom of his eyes was invisible. Let's see if you have that ability. When Miet Song heard it, his killing intention filled the whole mountain space. A pair of dark eyes were full of strange smoke purple, looking for death. Bang! As soon as his voice fell, the crowd burst with a loud bang in the blink of an eye. I saw a residual shadow passing people's eyes. When I looked back, the dragon's evil figure had been hid on the wall more than 10 meters away from the peak. All of a sudden, the whole mountain space wall soil flying, filled with pungent soil debris. This scene happened. Even Cloud Dance, a few people, did not respond quickly. When Yunwu saw the shadow under the wall, his face suddenly changed. His heart felt as if he had been stabbed by something, and his fists suddenly clenched, as if he was suffering from the rising fury of his heart. Just for a moment, the moment she didn't even see it, Long Qingxia was beaten away. Who on earth is this old man? With the dust falling, the figure of dragon's evil gradually becomes clear. Long Qingxia half kneels on the ground. After a long time, he looks up at Yunwu and gives her a charming look. He's okay. Cloud Dance see him that appearance. The heart that be pricked seems to just relax a breath. Endure of emotion seemed to just slightly calm a little bit. Then the figure swept away and came to him in an instant. He said in a low voice, "How do you feel?" Long Qingxia stood up, and the evil spirit raised the corner of his mouth, patted his clothes, then raised his eyes and glared at Miet Song. Smile not smile of say, was shocked for a while. Nothing, not painful. Miet Song looked at the dragon and was shocked by him. However, when Miet Song heard the words, he burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, it's worthy of being the descendant of Huang Yingying, but just now the boundary of space seems to be a little weak. The forest of Miet Song's smile is deep to the bone. The hair of smile is creepy. The dragon tilted his evil eyes at Miet Song, and the bottom of his eyes was dark. In fact, just now, fortunately, he was on guard. When he saw him attack, he made a space barrier in time to resist his attack, but he was also ejected by the rebound force for tens of meters. If the body was hit just now, it only needs one hit. I'm afraid it will need to replace the bone. The cloud dances the Mao light ice cold of looking at Miet Song. Purple pupil Mao just want to emerge. Dragon Qing evil, but a pull her into the bosom. Purple pupil Mao, and didn't be exterminate Song to see. Don't worry, I'll find out about him before I start. Low voice very light brush over Cloud Dancier's side. The two hugged each other, seemingly very ambiguous. However, Zhou Feiyu and Lu Bai understand what they are doing. Cloud danced tiny narrow cold eyes, but still put away the purple pupil eyes. However, when she glanced at Miet Song, the undercurrent in her eyes was turbulent, and a touch of killing intention rose from the bottom of her heart. It seems that the lesson is not enough. At this time, the old man's angry and hoarse voice resounded again. At that moment, I saw the black shadow coming. The speed is as fast as lightning. Just when the dragon was fighting back, a big black flame knife blocked his chest and took the black fighting spirit from the black figure. When the two collided, the big knife made a sonorous sound. Yunwu's hand holding broadsword was shaking. She seemed to be able to feel the shaking voice of palm bone pain. How strong? Who the hell is he? Miet Song looked at the sword in Yunwu's hand, and his purple-black lips showed a strange smile. It's good to catch my blow. The better is in the back. Zhou Feiyu looked at the trembling hands of Cloud Dance. His sharp eyes fell to the freezing point, and his figure swept away like an illusion towards the extinction. Lu Bai is following him. The black figure exudes the atmosphere of gloomy killing, but his dark eyes are full of fun at the moment. That moment. When Yunwu looks at Lu Bai, he always feels familiar with the strange smell of killing, just like Miet Song raised a white eyebrow and looked at the two people who came from front to back. A touch of ridicule passed by. The next second, the figure flashed and disappeared. When Zhou Feiyu came, his figure stopped immediately, and a flame was burning in his sharp eyes. What about people? Watch the corner. Cloud Dance, drink low. Suddenly, the three men looked at the shadow on the wall together. Their eyes were cold, and they were ready to kill each other. The next moment, Cloud Dance and others four white figure, instant toward the shadow. Long Qingxia, holding the ape, pierces the space, sharp and fast. Yunwu holds a big knife and splits the airflow. His strong power is instantly released. Zhou Feiyu's figure is like a shuttle, and the dagger on his waist turns into a strange sword. Lu Bai followed on the left, attacking as well. Bang, with a roar from all over the world. The walls of the mountain were broken. The clattering stones were falling. The dust was flying, and the half-human-high cave appeared. A strong white light came in through the cave. Miet Song stood not far away and looked at the four people. His eyes were cold, and his mouth was full of blood. Cloud Dance looks at the tiny wound on Miet Song's body. and her eyes suddenly squint. How many wounds did the four strike together? Damn it! Long Qingxie was stunned for a moment. He thought it would make him suffer. Now it seems that I really have to show my ability. However, he doesn't want others to know. Even the little thing, it's not time to know. All of a sudden, a strange smell passed by. Zhou Feiyu and Liu Bai felt a little hazy in their mind, as if they wanted to be in a coma. What's going on? Zhou Feiyu's sharp eyes were staring at the dragon Qingxie around him. He seemed to understand something. He clenched his fists and forced his consciousness. What do you want to do? And Liu Bai also felt not adapt, but not Zhou Feiyu's anger, but the corner of his mouth swept an imperceptible smile. The next second, Zhou Feiyu and Liu Bai all fell to the ground. Dragon Qing Evil looked at them. The corner of his mouth raised a strange radiant. Cloud Dance slightly frowned, looking at two people who fall to the ground. Eyebrow a Cu rise. Mao Guang doubts of C to Dragon Poor Evil. You really annoy me. In this case, I will take the blood myself. With the roar of Niet Song, Yunwu suddenly felt dizzy in her mind. Soon, her consciousness began to blur. At the last moment, she fell into a warm arms and seemed to see the evil eyes of the dragon. Go to sleep. When you wake up, you can fight thoroughly and finish everything. In the dark, she seems to have heard this sentence. What does that man want to do? Want to die on your own? Yunwu wants to open her mouth, but the darkness attacks her consciousness. Long Qingxie places Yunwu in a place that will not be affected. He raises his eyes and looks at Mikang. His eyes are scarlet and bloodthirsty. The power of extermination comes from the Beast Gate. More than 10 years ago, his ability became more and more dark. Compared with the Ink Night Ice, I'm afraid the ability to destroy that song is not bad at all. Again, he must find out his weakness. Anyway, he is evil body, can't die, but she is different. He doesn't allow her to have any accident. Even if she wanted, he would fight for a fair fight for her. You want to beat me on your own? Your mother dare not be so arrogant. Then I'll take your blood first, and then their lives. The laughter of Niet Song was everywhere, and the anger in the smile was burning with fire. Suddenly, a touch of black fighting spirit attacked the dragon. As soon as the dragon's evil figure moved, it dodged and passed, but at the same time, it swept the fighting spirit, and the water attribute suddenly attacked and left. Niet Song's attack on Long Qingxie is just a cold smile. It seems to be looking at the mole ant-like counterattack, not afraid at all, and even there is a kind of want to play his mockery. He has been imprisoned for more than 10 years. Day and night for more than 10 years. What he wants to do most is to crush the yellow warbler into pieces and crush all the people concerned. It turns out that this is Huang Yingying's son. Naturally, he has to treat him well. Bang! See, the attack of Dragon Qingxie. Don't exterminate that song to break down immediately completely didn't hurt. Die, or I'll give you a good taste of life. Niet Song looks at the dragon and says with a gloomy smile. From the corner of Dragon's evil mouth, he is bloodthirsty and evil? Then we'll see what it's like to say that life is not like death. As soon as the words fell, a strange breath sword waved and took advantage of the gap. The lightning struck quickly. Niet Song gave a gloomy smile and didn't care. But when he came into contact with the breath of Dragon's evil, his face changed slightly. Evil? You don't have the aura of witchcraft. Long Qingxie didn't answer. He attacked quickly and bloodthirsty. Niet Song's eyes, which originally mocked and sneered, finally got a trace of serious and bloodthirsty anger. In an instant, the attack started, and two groups of light figures were entangled. The fierce collision sound, the whirling attack, the fierce murderous spirit are constantly shooting in mid-air. The fierce attack and strange atmosphere filled the whole cave. At this moment, if you let others see it, it will be frightening. This is definitely the fight of the strong among the strong. What's more surprising is that a young man with the strength of Wuxing could fight with the old man who was too strong to see the specific strength for so long. It's not weaker than the downwind at all. Is this human or not? However, this kind of fight a long time, but still gradually began to appear weaknesses. After half a ring, poof, Dragon Ching Xie's body flew out one by one. After landing, he knelt on the ground and covered his chest. The breath in the body was unsteady, and a mouthful of blood gushed out. His face turned pale all of a sudden, but the corner of his cold mouth raised a pale smile. He saw, "I'm surprised that I didn't die after so many attacks." Suddenly, the dark shadow attacked the dragon again. "Girl, wake up. Girl, are you awake?" In my mind came the call of Bai Lao. In the dark consciousness, Yunwu frowned slightly, as if he finally found the bright struggle to wake up. Cloud Dance eyes slightly opened the eyes without focus. It seems that after a while to restore light. "Girl, if you don't wake up, the boy won't be able to survive." Bai Lao's voice appeared in her mind, Cloud dancing and frowning. Suddenly, as if suddenly thought of something, Cloud suddenly raised his eyes. Almost at the same second, the figure suddenly soared, turned into an extreme current, and rushed to the dragon. Long Qingxia looks at Miet Song's fierce attack again. His eyes are still bloodthirsty and excited. It seems that he wants to suppress the pain by killing. Just when he's ready to fight back again, a purple figure flashed by in an instant with the smell of chilling Ling Su's killing. The big knife cut through the dark and cut directly like Miet Song. I was stunned. It seems that I didn't expect the Cloud Dance to suddenly appear. The big sword in Yunwu's hand, with a strong ZZ sound, roared past and cut Miet Song's neck. Miet Song pupil eyes micro-lock almost instantly a hide and open. But he was still cut off a piece of flesh and blood on his shoulder by a big knife. Suddenly, the whole shoulder was bloody. However, when Miet Song looks at a pair of purple pupil eyes of Cloud Dance, a startled anger raised, gloomy eyes a cold, Miet Song sullen. "Yusen Wei, so you are the daughter of Huang Yingying." Cloud Dance didn't look at him, but turned to run towards Dragon Qingxia, helped him to the wall of the mountain. Worried purple eyes anxiously asked, "Dragon Qingxia, how are you?" Dragon Qing, evil pale mouth, slightly a pull. Evil spirit-like smile again emerged, some at a loss of looking at her way. "Kiss me, it's okay." Cloud Dance looks at him, black fight under the gauze. That evil spirit pale ruffian's face, in the heart a sour. At the moment, there are tears cannot flow out. Why is this fool always so stupid? After being cheated for such a long time, he must be eager to kill you now. His weakness lies in the black mark on his chest. Find a chance to pierce it. Long Qingxia felt that he was going to be unable to hold on. He said it in a low voice. As soon as it was dark, he was in a coma. Cloud Dance in the heart of a fierce pull, a touch of unspeakable feeling attack on the heart. Looking at his pale face, she gently kisses it. When she gets up again, the big knife inserted on the ground. Suddenly there was no wind, and a clang vibration reverberated in the mountain cave. Cloud Dance pulled out the big knife from the ground. Purple pupil eyes lifted the dark bloodthirsty. The corner of the mouth raised a bloody smell of killing. "If you dare to hurt him, I will tear you to pieces." Extremely cold voice, emotion without ups and downs, but with enough extremely cold killing. Suddenly, the other hand turned. The fire element burned in her palm. In a moment, a flaming fire dragon rushed towards Mikang. The black flame sword was hanging on the fire dragon. It was extremely fast. Miet Song Wei is stunned, but soon, he put a smile on his purple-black lips. In an instant, the black fighting spirit condensed into a black dragon, and suddenly soared into the air to fight with the fire dragon. Cloud Dance dark center a startle, the corner of the mouth slightly adraw, fighting to draw out the black dragon. This is definitely the first time I met in a strange world. What is his strength? Suddenly, the Cloud Dancing figure passed by, and quickly floated to Miet Song's side, and they began to fight at close range. The Cloud dances the corner of the mouth to stir up an imperceptible sneer with bloodthirsty. No matter how strong he is, she must let him take off his skin. "Ah, Suddenly, Miet Song stepped back and screamed in pain. Her pale face was even whiter. Her angry eyes were burning with anger. She stared at the clouds and wanted to kill her immediately. His hand was dripping with blood. Apart from a tendon, the bone and meat were almost separated, and the blood poured like a spout. The torn flesh and blood, uneven, looks extremely bloody ferocious. Cloud Dance glanced at Red Ling. The corner of the mouth, slightly a yawn, floated a look of appreciation. She has telepathy with these contract animals. Although Hong Ling is not a contract animal, it nourishes her blood and grows up. She also has a contract. Hong Ling has long felt that she is in danger and has been waiting for her to release it. And just when Yunwu grasped Miet Song's hand, Yunwu immediately summoned Hong Ling. Hong Ling did not stop for a moment. Seeing Miet Song's hand, she tore it up. The figure was quick to hear. Although Miet Song retreated in time, his hand was pulled down. "You are you a summoner?" Miet Song's ferocious face looked at the clouds like Canthus. The words were full of surprise. The Cloud Dance's purple pupil mouth scarlet, bloodthirsty smile is extremely cold. The corner of the mouth slightly wriggles. "So? Then you can't stay. It's up to you if you have the ability. Come." The clang of the two big knives was again buzzing away. It was as like as two peas in a Cloud Dance, but only a black one. The Cloud Dance was a little surprised. It is a replica. The ability to reproduce the shape and ability of a broadsword with your own mind and use it by yourself is only 60%. However, the 60% ability of Guwu Degeo, together with his own ability to infuse Degeo, has made her hard to compete. Schwabang. With a sudden wave of the copy sword, the Cloud dances. With the phagocytosis of the dark atmosphere, Yunwu broadsword is horizontal, blocking a blow, but the body is instantly hit on the wall. She reluctantly support the body did not faint. The breath of the chest is not smooth. A touch of fishy sweet liquid from the mouth slip out. "This blow will kill you." Suddenly, the strange shadow of Miet Song came again. Yunwu's eyes are deep, and he has been staring at the shadow of Miet Song, but he can clearly see his body. When Miet Song hit her with the black Dookie gravity, in an instant, a strange force suddenly attacked Miet Song and Cloud Dance, and their figures seemed to be shot away by something. When Yunwu was flying out, his whole body seemed to be suddenly emptied by something and banged down on the corner wall. His face turned white, and he was sweating with pain. Cloud Dance feels that there seems to be a force in the Dantian to break out. At this moment, the whole body seems to be suffering from the sudden strange force. What's going on? On the other side, Miet Song covered his bloody chest. His eyes became dark. The light of the killing was completely ignited, and his eyes were dark. "What is your strength?" The gloomy voice fell, and Miet Song went to the Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance lies on the ground, looking at the Miet Song who is coming towards her again, thinking of the body with teeth biting. However, the strength was completely evacuated, not to mention standing, not even the strength to stretch your fingers. What's going on? Is it hard for her to tell me today? She is not reconciled. Just when Yunwu wanted to hold up, the strength of her chest appeared again and struggled, as if something was about to break out. Cloud Dance, biting his lips in pain, looking at the god of death. There is no resistance. On the other side, Nangong Yi, who has been tracking her, suddenly feels a strange uneasiness in her heart. It seems that something has happened to her. Directly his gentle eyes were slightly dark, and Shangwan ran towards the border with the fastest speed. "Here!" Miet Song looks at the Cloud Dancing lying on the ground with a smile, and his eyes are mocking and resenting. "I'll take off your head. When I find Huang Yingying, I will let her see her offspring next time, and then I will send her to see you." The gloomy voice fell, and Miet Song's killing intention flashed out. A palm and a moment toward the head of Cloud Dance swept in the past. How fast? Cloud Dance seems to be able to hear the palm of the hand cut through the air, out of the wind howling sound, getting closer and closer. "You can't hurt my woman." A deep, hoarse, bloodthirsty, and evil voice came to Miet Song and Cloud Dance. Boom! A touch of burning purple fighting gas, suddenly attack, suddenly will destroy the attack back. Miet Song, dark eyes, slightly alung, white eyebrow a yang, looked to the figure of that road hand. When he saw that it was the dragon who had fallen evil, his heart was shocked. Was it him again? Isn't he seriously injured? It seems that this man can't be underestimated, that he can fight back his black fighting spirit. Cloud danced along the figure to see. When looking at the silver, beautiful, evil spirit leisurely figure, pale mouth, slightly a hook. Here he comes, see dragon Ching evil at the moment, mouth slightly yang, leisurely walk slowly. His originally pale face seemed to have recovered completely. Long Qingxia looked at the sweating Cloud dance lying on the ground, his eyes on her chest, as if to break the body out of the dark power. The deep eye bottom, suddenly am I a surprise strange pass. Blackbite? How could, but very soon, I saw that his eye fundus was different, and it disappeared in a twinkling of an eye. A remnant shadow passed by, and the dragon suddenly came to Yunwu. Little thing, remember, you must bear it. Patience. She's been putting up with it, but looking at the moment is trying to control the body's power. Cloud dance. Dragon Qing evil, I passed a touch anxious. Finally, Long Qingxia quickly lowered his head and said a few words in Yunwu's ear. Then he got up and flashed to the Miet Song. They exchanged hands again. After hearing the words, the Cloud dance's face changed. Looking at the purple pupil of the dragon, suddenly there was more pain and anger. Yes, anger. Why? Why does he do everything behind her back? Don't tell her until you have to. Yunwu grits his teeth and bears all the pain. He struggles to sit up on the ground. His eyes have been coagulating the shadow of the dragon, hiding and fighting back. His anger rises from the bottom of his heart. She wants to recover quickly and then give him a slap. Let him make his own decisions. Let him hide everything from her. Let him always have a posture that I am very strong. I am very drag. I am very proud. Her man, she doesn't need to do everything for her. She's not weak, but is such a man actually lets her heart ache. However, at this moment, she absolutely does not allow herself to be in such a state. The bottom of my heart is angry and unwilling. What people don't know is that when they have strong willpower, they will produce strange abilities. In particular, her blood is a special existence. In the sea of consciousness, a strange white fog suddenly turned into a strange force and suddenly attacked the body. Suddenly, a silver light appeared in Yunwu's body, which was completely opposite to the dark power in her body. Just like the two, they fight against each other in an instant. See only, Cloud Dance whole body presents half silver, half black, two mutually exclusive. Make Cloud Dance instantly feel a strong, tearing feeling, as if to tear her whole body apart. The Cloud Dances to death of clenched teeth pass. Just don't make a little noise. Being like sweat is like rain, emitting crystal on, shining her pale and stubborn face, soaking her hair, purple clothes, the whole person is like being watered. That unbearable feeling, like two people constantly pulling in her body, one to the left, one to the right, you have to tear her in half. Girl, are you breaking through Wuzuan's? White, old, hazy, surprised voice suddenly sounded in her mind. Break through Wuzuan. Cloud Dance, lying on the ground, pain without a trace of strength. Only feel the body of two white force constantly devour her, as if to pain coma in the past, but can't coma. Want to stand up, also can't stand up, can only consciously suppress the pain. However, Yunwu's eyes are staring at the distance. The man's white figure is constantly flying and standing up. There is anger in the eyes, but worry and anxiety. This is the time. Why is every awakening and breakthrough always at a critical time? Is that how difficult it is for her to break through? Should she break through every 10 or 8 years? The Cloud dances the Mao light to be unusually deep. Die the blood-thirsty Mao son of anger to move to Miet Song body. The bottom of the heart ruthlessly gnash teeth of secretly swear. I swear in the name of Summoner, when I can fight back, I will kill you. Her man can only let her repair. What qualification does he have to hurt him? No one can. She has been living in captivity for more than 10 years, but she is still so rampant. She has been rampant for more than 20 years in modern times. As an old man, why is she more rampant? The cloud dances, the Mao light is faint. More think is more angry. The chest place entangles like colic to rise. The corner of her mouth fierce a twitch. Damn it! Dragon evil constantly shuttle around the mountain. The figure is like a dragon. Countless phantoms. In an instant, there will be 5 or 6 residual shadows. The ape will be smashed in the air and waved at will. When Miet Song didn't hit him, he picked up a moment's gap, and the sound of ape roared by, which made Miet Song fly away. With a shadow rolling away, such as a black meteor, directly hit the wall of the mountain. All of a sudden, there was a rumbling sound of gravel on the wall of the mountain. The dragon never stops pouring evil. The ape is dyed with purple fighting spirit. It's like the wind. Its speed is as fast as the light. It once again flies in the air and waves to Miet Song. Poof! Miet Song was hit by 2 blows at the same time, and he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Long Qingxia stops for a while and puts the ape to the ground to speed up his healing ability. As long as he recovers before destroying Song, he will be able to destroy it. It's just that the strength of Miet Song is stronger than they imagined. Bai Lao, is there any way to speed up the breakthrough? Yunwu tries to endure the pain of tearing and uses his mind. Girl, the speed of your breakthrough is very fast, but the dark power in your body repels the power of breaking through Wuzuan. That's the reason why Wuzuan can't break through for a long time. Bai Lao stopped for a moment, but suddenly said, however, if your ability is slightly better with your ability to devour the dark breath thoroughly first, maybe it will be okay. Devour the dark? Cloud dance congeals eyebrow. Purple pupil Mao, by ache erosion of pan with scarlet blood. But now I can't move strength. Girl, breakthrough is your own control. I really can't help you with this. I have to rely on you. Bai Laowei sighed. He was helpless, remorseful, and worried. Although he is a wizard in the holy things, but he is not really omnipotent. In the matter of breaking through strength, no one can get involved. The scarlet eyes of the cloud danced deeper. However, it is still tough to bear the pain of bone erosion, speed up the blood, and strive to release all the strength of the body, so that the force hit the body at random. Dead horse, live horse doctor. If you want to resist, if you want to get rid of the confinement, please resist with these forces. She also on this pair of body as a space, enjoy tossing it. She does not believe that she has survived so many difficulties. Today will be destroyed by this small breakthrough. However, Cloud Dance does not know. At this time, I don't know if it's as simple as a breakthrough. The power in her body is a joke. However, it is precisely because I don't know and have no fear that I dare to fight so recklessly. Girl, don't do that. Bai Lao's hoarse and anxious voice of blocking rang out in dew, but it was still a step late. He had intended to think about whether there was any way, but found that this girl actually followed the will of the dark forces, released all the forces in her body, and let the dark forces devour her at will. Isn't that death? How could her body bear it? It's not impossible to be dead by then. This way. Miet Song came to the moment slowly, and the dark eyes looked at the dragon's evil, and the bottom of the eyes was slightly surprised. It seems that I didn't expect that the strength of Long Qingxia was so strong, which obviously exceeded his own martial saint level. On the contrary, when he was strong, he was stronger. However, at this time, Miet Song suddenly glanced at Yunwu, and seemed to feel something wrong with Yunwu. Eyes gloomy, or am I? Purple-black corner of the mouth slightly a pull. Boy, I won't play with you. At the end of the speech, suddenly, his figure swept, like a phantom came to Yunwu. Just at the time of fighting with Yunwu, she stabbed the mark on her chest. It was nothing else but the source of his power. So now he is just like a normal person. After a long time, he will be tired and unable to do what he wants. At this time, Long Qingxia entangled with him for such a long time, and he already felt that his body was not supporting. Over the years, I didn't expect to be so embarrassed by these 2 children. It's disgusting. Isn't it a shame that you can't protect your own women well? Suddenly, when Miet Song's figure came, the figure of Long Qingxie stopped in front of the cloud dance, and the purple fighting spirit suddenly hit. Miet Song was beaten back when he didn't have time to deal with it. His speed is so fast the dark and cold eyes of Miet Song suddenly rise sharp surge, just like the weird and terror when the storm is going to die out. Miet Song is completely angry. The whole mountain cave is filled with the smell of darkness. In an instant, it seems that even the breath of the air, with a chilling anger, the ear of the hurricane tearing roaring. Miet Song's body turned into a dark fog, like black pride. The dark and strange fog kept rolling. Since I can't get out of this border, I'll let you four bury me with me. Shoo! The speed that people can't react completely, part of the black fog suddenly turned into a black fog blade, and the speed attacked like a charm. Dragon Qing, evil, extremely cold eyes a squint. Instant reaction come over, figure a sweep, avoid a blow. But the next second, brush! Long Qingxie's dead and bloodthirsty eyes were looking at a wisp of silver hair under the black veil on the ground. How fast! Almost the sharp blade cut off his head. I didn't expect that you are really beyond my expectation. The strength of a martial saint in his later period has evaded my attack in a row. Miet Song's angry voice came from the air with a strong sense of killing. Long Qingxie's eyes are full of blood. However, he subconsciously looks at Yunwu and seems to be worried about her. When he saw the power in Cloud Dance's body, which seemed to gradually engulf the dark power, his eyes flashed by a rush, but at this time he did not step forward. Instead, he was staring at the death coldly. Miet Song looked at the silver hair on the ground, and the strange smile became more fond of Mang. Good. You have completely aroused my interest. My favorite thing is to watch the prey slowly be tortured to death. See, that gloomy voice falls down. Suddenly, 5 black blades attacked fiercely again. As soon as the dragon's eyes sank and his body moved, he quickly used the boundary of space in the dark. Then he raised the épée, and at the moment when the attack hit the border, he split the border open, which just divided the black blade into 2. All of a sudden, the épée fell, and the dust in the cave was flying. The sharp wind blades scratched the skin, and a burning sensation kept rising. Dust falls. After the sight was clear, a half-man wide and several meters deep gully appeared under the ground, which directly cracked to the periphery of the border. At this time, Miet Song's face suddenly changed. Subconsciously, he lowered his eyes and looked at the stabbing blood on his arm. It was struck by the power of Dragon's épée. What is the strength of the boy in front of us? In other words, what is the peak of his strength? Who the hell is he? After thinking about it, the corner of his mouth drew, with a sonorous cold breath. Dozens of black blades hit again. No matter who he is, if you want to solve that girl, you must kill him first. Long Qingxie's eyes narrowed. Bear the pain of just being hurt on the body. Once the hand is brushed, suddenly lift up the attribute body in the body, prepare to really exert all one's strength and kill the old man. But at this time, suddenly, 2 residual shadows appeared in an instant. When the dragon poured out his evil hand, he attacked the sky in an instant. One of them was white and wearing white gauze. Unnatural and unrestrained. It's Nanganji and Shengguan. Dragon Qing, evil mouth slightly a yang. Secretly, put away, just move. These 2 guys, can you come more slowly? Murmur, low, almost inaudible. Under the words, a touch of pain crossed the dragon's deep eyes. He looked down at his chest and saw the bloody hole. The evil and bloodthirsty smile at the corner of his mouth didn't decrease. At the same time, behind them, there are 2 other figures. It's Zhou Feiyu and Liu Bai, who have just been comatose by the dragon's evil spirit. They don't know when they wake up. They see that at this time, the 4 of them make a hand at the same time, and the light of the 4 spiritual powers suddenly lights up the whole cave. It is charming and dense, with a luster that people can't look directly at. There are 2 boys. Ha ha, since you can all come in, who can stop me when I go out? Destroy it, Miet Song laughs wildly. Miet Song in the light is more and more dark and evil. Suddenly, Miet Song was the embodiment of the body. The black fog all around turned into a black blade. With a long roaring sound, it came sharply from all sides. As soon as they were shocked, their faces turned white. How tough! The strength of the old man is better than that of the four of them. But in an instant, a touch of purple light passed in front of people's eyes. But in the blink of an eye, it disappeared again. All of a sudden, people's heads, a touch of purple light shining. Dazzled purple exudes a dark atmosphere and constantly diffuses, blocking the galloping black blade in the air. In the middle of the dark purple spiritual power, a woman with a touch of purple figure is floating. The woman's hair was flowing. Her facial features were strange. Her purple pupil was bloodthirsty and cold. Standing in the purple, she looked at the sky like death. It's her, Cloud Dance. When the four Nangong Yi, who were against Miet Song, saw the Cloud Dance, they could not help trembling. However, when Long Qingxia saw the clouds dancing, his eyes sank. She who's in control of the bite in her body? But how could it be? Magic bite can't be controlled so simply, otherwise, the original magic heaven would not be like this. Unless the evil bite is only dormant for a short time. Thinking of this, the worries of Dragon's eyes flashed by. He wanted to go forward, but when he felt the breath of Cloud Dance, Dragon's eyes were in a daze. Wuzuan? She broke through Wuzuan? Long Qingxia looks at the Cloud Dance's eyes and is slightly surprised. In the case of being eroded by the devil, can she break through into Wuzuan's strength? What's going on? Does this little thing really control the magic bite? But Nanganji, under the white gauze, the warm eyes looking at the Cloud Dance, a little squint, also passed a trace of surprise. In such a short time, she broke through Wuzuan again. No one can stop her. Zhou Feiyu looked at the Cloud Dance, and a smile appeared in the corner of his mouth. Her strength has improved again, but Lu Bai's eyes were strange and full of excitement. Wuzuan? Miet Song is slightly surprised, looking at the black blade, which is easily blocked by Yunwu, and the eyes of vicissitudes of life look at her incredulously. How can it be? Just now, she was just the peak of Wuxing. Did she break through in such a short time? How can it be so simple for Wuxing to break through into Wuzuan? But this girl, however, I'm afraid it's unheard of in mainland China. Cloud Dance stands in midair, eyes very cold looking at the Miet Song. The voice was cold and word by word. I swear in the name of the summoner that if I can recover my strength, I will kill you. So, I'll take your life. The last sentence, with jealousy, arrogance, and bloodthirsty, with a chilling chill. The purple light of Cloud Dance fist emerged and instantly gathered all the scattered purple light on the fist. And at that moment, the black sharp blade suddenly swished back towards the extinction, followed by the Cloud Dancing fist with purple light. The black blade was instantly smashed by Miet Song's wave. Although this girl film broke through Wuzuan, let him surprised, but with his strength, how can you be afraid of a Wuzuan girl? However, when Mi Kang turned around and wanted to deal with Yunwu's fist, he found that it was too late. The purple light was right in front of him. Bang. With a devastating tremor, the whole forest is full of birds and animals. The howl, the scream of fear, could be heard clearly in the mountain. Broken walls in the mountain, gravel began to slide, stone sand all over the sky. Still hovering spirit power is still whistling, even if the border seems to be unable to support this power. On the stone floor in the cave, there is a hollow shape of human body, and the people in the hollow are Mi Kang. At this time, Miet Song's body was still suffused with purple and dark breath. It seemed that the power just attacked by Cloud Dance had not disappeared and was still eroding in his body. You have magic poof. Miet Song's canthus are full of unbelievable clouds. He never thought that there was the power of magic bite in her body. Magic bite. That's magic bite. Miet Song seemed to be stimulated by something. He was excited and a mouthful of old blood gushed out. His eyes were full of blood. It looked like he was choked to death. It seemed that he was going to swell his eyes. No one can feel the power except Dragon, Cloud Dance, and Extermination. It's just that the breath of Cloud Dance becomes a little dark after breaking through the martial arts. And if Long Qingxie didn't know that there was evil in her body, she couldn't find it at all. It is because of the power of Evil Bite that we can know that it is Evil Bite. In other words, if Yunwu doesn't want to tell anyone that she has the power of Magic Bite in her body, then the only one who wants to know that she has the power of Magic Bite in her body is the dead. How strange! Lu Bai looked at the dying death, and a touch of interesting meditation passed through his dark eyes. A blow? It seems that this woman is more and more interesting to kill the former second leader of the Beast Gate with only one blow. It's true that Mietsong was once the second leader of the Beast Gate. How beautiful it was. It's just that after that, there was no news. It turned out that he was imprisoned here. Now he died in the hands of a teenage girl. It's really sad. Cloud Dance approached the depression and looked at the sky below. Gently stir up the corner of the mouth. Cold, bloodthirsty smile continues to deepen. You say, I leave you a whole body to waste land, or let my Hongling eat you out to nourish the land? Mietsong's face suddenly changed when he heard that it was as cold as frost. Can't help but see not far away, and was released Hongling, corner of the mouth with a wry smile. Cannibal flowers are already in. Why ask me? I'm a murderer. I don't like procrastination. However, I'm interested in you. Let you try what you say and torture slowly. Cloud Dance looks back at Hongling and recalls it to contract space. Then, looking back at the time of death, the big knife suddenly appeared. Whoosh! Black flame dagger, with a strong power, waved to Mietsong in an instant. Ah! A roar against the sky that could shake the whole forest, like a ghost crying, tearing apart, and hoarse in pain. I saw that Mietsong's hands and feet were cut off, and the blood slipped into the depression, more and more. The smell of blood permeated the whole cave, and the gloom after the killing was numbing. You! Mietsong fell in the pool of blood, the vicissitudes of the eyes streaming blood, seems to want to say something, only to find that there is no strength to say. He stares at his eyes. The bloody eyes reflect the figure of a matchless and beautiful woman in purple. The radiance of the woman's mouth is like the most terrible smile he has ever seen in his life. Enjoy the feeling of death. I don't know if you lost blood in the end, or choked to death by your own blood. If only you knew the result yourself. He couldn't hear a word of her. He is not dead yet, but life is not like death. Shangwan looks at the big sword dripping blood in Yunwu's hand, and some strange and cruel smile in that pair of purple pupil eyes. He is rarely surprised and has no response. It was the first time that he saw such bloody, bloodthirsty, and cold Cloud Dance. Just like a king who was arrogant and bloodthirsty, Zhou Feiyu was not surprised. On the contrary, in his sharp eyes, he suddenly raised an unpredictable smile. Because what he saw at the beginning was her bloodthirsty side. Such a woman, so that he cannot control the heart. While Dragon Qingxia looks at the action of Cloud Dance. In his deep eyes, there is a cold and murderous Sun Han like Cloud Dance. However, the pale corner of his mouth carries a doting smile. This little thing really suits his taste. However, there are more and more rotten peach blossoms around, alas. Yunwu puts away the sword, no longer looks at Mikang, turns around and looks back to the dragon. Looking at her pale, evil face, slightly frown, serious? She clearly saw that he was beaten by him, once, twice, 3 times, but still continued to get up and pester the Mietsong. Just to protect her and buy her time. Although his body can heal, he will still get hurt and live worse than death. Think of just now, Cloud Dance tiny frown, Mao Guang flits a silk cold idea. Is it too cheap to cut off Mietsong's hands and feet? When the dragon heard the evil words, he bent his mouth and raised a smile arc of evil spirit. Suddenly he said, with your kiss, everything will become less serious. Your man is not so weak. The voice was not big or small, and it was clearly heard by several people present. Cloud Dance smell, speech, facial expression, brush of a sink. Don't fight for spirit of cheek float to put on crimson. This man is really cheap all the time. Cloud Dance can't help but white swept in one eye, low to scolde, have nothing oneself roll. After that, Yunwu then stood up and walked to Panlong's cave. Enter here. She can forget what her final goal is. Outside the entrance of the cave is a stone gate with a dragon. There is a groove as big as a finger on the stone gate. Looking at the shape of the groove, it seems that you need some key. Well, it seems that I need some key. Nangong, he said in a low voice. Now what? We don't have a key. Shengguan glanced at Yunwu and shrugged. It's just that the attitude that used to be joking and thumping is more serious now. It's obviously shocked by Yunwu's cold and murderous appearance just now. Cloud Dance glanced at him, the corner of his mouth suddenly outlined. Then he turned his head and saw that he had stood up from the ground and patted the dragon on his clothes. It seems that his wound has almost healed, faster than her water element healing. Cloud Dance saw an eye dragon to pour evil, asked, "Want to open stone door very difficult?" Dragon Ching, evil slowly stepped forward. Evil spirit of the mouth pull a touch of radiant. Eyes suddenly a flash. Very simple. Kick a corner on the line. Bang! I saw that as soon as his words fell, a firm foot firmly kicked to the stone gate. With an earthquake-like roar, the dust blurred my vision. Huh! The stone gate has been opened. No, it should be said that he was kicked away by Cloud Dance with violent. Shengguan's mouth twitches. It's really not difficult, but it's also a little too bad elegant, right? Shengguan wanted to say that it was not gentle, but he thought that when was Yunwu gentle? I want to say it's too violent, but I think when is she not violent? After thinking about it, I can only describe it in terms of elegance, which is a little more appropriate. Open the stone gate. Long Qingxia, Shengguan, Yunwu, and Zhou Feiyu walk into the cave together. However, the first feeling is cold, piercing cold air, so that all sweat pores are congealed, bundle up. Slightly a breath seems to be able to form a layer of frost. But Lu Bai has been standing outside the door, watching them go in, looking back at Miet Song, the bloodthirsty light in his eyes. Suddenly, a white flame quietly attacked the sky. Because of the chill inside the cave, several people inside the cave were not aware of the fluctuation of the extremely cold white flame outside the cave, dying of extinction, exhausted the last strength to see to Lu Bai. Vicissitudes of life, blood red, eyes like to see what the ghost of things in general, stare boss, you. Without saying the last word, he opened his eyes and closed his eyes. Lu Bai sees this. The corner of the mouth raises a touch of sun, to like to smile. Dead people don't need to know too much. Then, Lu Bai stepped into the cave and quickly followed. After entering the cave, Yunwu narrowed her eyes and inquired into the cave, only to find that the cave was empty enough. Until, suddenly, the corner of the eye swept to the open corner, not far away from a cold bed. There was a wooden box on the ice bed. It was green and looked like moss. It looked shabby for some years. Cloud Dance micro frown. Mao Guang looking at the wooden box, as if thinking, is this box a little too eye-catching to be placed on this ice-cold bed for thousands of years? However, looking at the bottle, it seems too shabby. However, what can appear in this cave is definitely not an ordinary thing. Yunwu went and opened the wooden box. There were 6 little crystal balls in the wooden box, only the size of fingernail. The crystal ball emits a cold light like ice, illuminating the dark wooden box subspace. At this time, a golden light flashed in my mind, and a message came from the dragon scroll. Bing Dan, the most outstanding part of the Millennium Ice, is extremely rare. It contains great mental power. After taking it, it can increase its ability, and the specific consequences are unknown. Cloud Dance white eyes. The last sentence is bright. The specific consequences are unknown, so it might have an after effect. However, the Cloud Dance star eyes, but suddenly swept a touch of cunning point of light, and then smilingly looked at the 5 people behind. It's noodles here. It's a good thing. Bing Dan. It can increase your own ability after eating. It's extremely rare for you to have a taste of it. Cloud Dance. Kind will I stand to each hand. The corner of the eye mouse smile did not come down. Shengguan looked at Yunwu with an unkind smile. Taking Bingdan was like taking poison. His face was extremely ugly. This thing won't kill us, will it? Cloud Dance's face, suddenly a positive color, stares at the upper official way. Don't eat to pull down, take back. As soon as I reached out, I wanted to get the ice stand back. The corner of Shengguan's mouth twitched violently. He looked at the Cloud Dance for a long time. It seemed that he was reluctant to part with it, and he swallowed Bingdan as if he had accepted his life. Nangong Yi looks at Bingdan, and his eyes twinkle with a smile, but he swallows it without saying anything. Lu Bai's eyes moved and swallowed it. And Zhou Feiyu, as early as in the Cloud Dance I stand to him after swallowing. And the dragon Qing Xie, but has been smiling at the clouds with a smile in his mouth. Looking at the Cloud Dance, that calculation of the eyes, the bottom of the eye swept a helpless funny. This little thing really made him like it more and more. After Yunwu saw 4 people swallow Bingdan, just walked to the dragon to pour evil in front of, confiscate the eye stand in his hand, despise a glance in one eye. You don't eat also useless. Anyway, his breakthrough in strength is too special. Pills are useless for him, so don't waste them. However, when they heard the words, their faces suddenly changed. It's no use eating? Threaten them to eat, but don't let him eat. Isn't this really a good thing? Is this disguised shortness protection too obvious? Ah! Suddenly, Shengguan covered his chest and let out a cry of pain, half kneeling on the ground in an instant. At this time, Lu Bai's face suddenly became worse. The beanie sweat fell from his forehead, as if he could faint in the next second. Nangong has been standing, through the white dosha. Vaguely seems to be able to see his convulsive pale face. Zhou Feiyu also followed, as if in preparation for what's suffering. It's just been eaten. Is it really working so fast? Cloud Dance looked at them, twitching pain, the appearance of blue veins suddenly, micro-frown. Is it really that painful? However, under the detection of mental power, they found that their bodies seemed to be running fast at this time, and it seemed that they were really increasing the rhythm of Yuanli. After a long time, they gradually calmed down the pain of stirring, and their pale and bloodless faces gradually recovered. Xiaowu, you really want our lives? Shengguan calmed the pain in his chest and said with a face of complaint. Cloud Dance slightly droops the eye, the corner of the mouth slightly raises, smile not language of ignore them. Turn around and get ready to look for the map first. She and Long Qingxie are suffering a lot today. What are they yelling about the beneficial pain? However, looking at their current situation, it seems that there will be some painful torture after eating Bingdan. I think I'd better put Bingdan into the space first. When Long Qingxie is in debt, he will take it and torture him. Ah, Xiaowu, it seems to really work. Shengguan suddenly felt the full force in Dantian, and his eyes brightened. Well, sensory ability has risen one step. Nangong Yi nodded gently. Several other people were there, you and I, but Yunwu didn't listen to a word. See, she at this time of that thief Jing's vision, all fall on the side of that piece of called temple map. That is a bit like a modern Baijiu box. It is very old and extremely ordinary. The Cloud Dance is taken by hand. A map of the temple is placed in a brocade box. It looks like a package of something. It's lying there at will. If you don't know the goods, you will be regarded as a rag at the bottom. Yunwu almost ignored it. However, it's really hard to find a way out. The Cloud dances in the Mao light to shine. The action is extremely quick. Conveniently, secretly put that map into the bosom. What are you doing here? The sound of Dragon's evil spirit suddenly rang in her ear. It happened that she reached into her arms and didn't pull it out. Cloud Dance figures suddenly a shake, brush back, vigilant look to the side, like a cheetah want to protect themselves in general. When he saw the smiling face of the evil spirit of Dragon Qing Xie, the corner of his mouth pulled out and slightly glared at him. Stand behind me in silence. Be careful I beat you. Long Qing evil smell speech. the corner of the mouth, evil spirit a yawn, deep magnetic way. Come on, I like it. You. The cloud dances and breathes. But for this man, it's hard to beat or scold. She seems to be depressed every time. The other four looked at Yunwoo's gnashing teeth and depressed appearance, and they were all slightly stunned. Lung Yin is like her, but she only has such an expression on the Dragon 3. At last, Yunwoo didn't bother to quarrel with that dragon. He turned his head and looked at several people. How do you feel? Yunwoo wants to know the function of Bingdan. Well, we said so much just now. Didn't you hear a word? Hear Cloud dance that ask away. The upper official immediately a facial expression of bitterness, haha, complained to stare at Cloud dance. The Cloud dances, the corner of the mouth draws. Just now, did they say anything? All right. She really didn't hear that. So, can't help grinning and looking at Nangong. He asked again, how does that feel? Yuanli has increased a lot, and they are the same when the class goes up one level. Nangong Yi's quiet and gentle way. Cloud dance, slightly pick eyebrows, eyes flash. A step up? Does it mean that the samurai jumps into the martial saints level? Is this too bad? Can you go up one more level, at any level? If so, can't she reach Wuzong directly? Well, I don't know. Nangong Yi's mouth is not clear. However, Cloud dance's bright eyes make Long Qingxia have no choice but to smile, and there is a helpless pet in his eyes. Little thing, what good do you want to do? Just reached Wuzong. Want to rise to Wuzong with an ice pill? Don't say no. Even if you can't take it to improve. The consequences are unimaginable. She really win this strength, without any foundation accumulation, only rely on pills to improve, can be good for the body? This little thing's head Cloud dance hears dragon to pour evil words. Eyes a dark, white he one eye. In fact, this man is probably the person who knows her best and can understand what she thinks in her heart with just a glance. However, she is eager to improve her strength, but her heart is like a mirror. She knows very well that in addition to opportunities, strength improvement also requires cultivation and accumulation, which cannot be achieved by opportunism. And she also, however, just think about it, really just think about it. Of course, there are still some. Nangong Yi looks at Yunwoo's expression and can't help laughing. Although it's a very shallow smile, it's clearly heard in this quiet space. Cloud dance suspiciously looks at him one eye. South Palace, this is how. Although he gives people the feeling is very gentle, but in fact he has not seen too many changes in expression. All of a sudden, did you laugh? What are you laughing at? He was still quiet and white. After fighting for so long, he didn't have the smell of blood. He was still in a state of incorruption with the world. Godlike people should be like this. Nangong Yi shakes his head and looks at Yunwoo. Nothing. He said nothing, so Yunwoo naturally didn't ask any more questions, lest a man fall into the vinegar jar again. That way I want things, Cloud dance also didn't want to stay feeling. So, with 5 followers out of the forest, strange is that they return according to the original road. Dense fog and border no longer exists. Is it because of death? However, the problem of Cloud dance did not tangle for long, anyway died. Cloud dance and dragon poor, evil, several people came to the nearby inn to live down. Obviously, it's for tomorrow's training, so we should have a good night's rest today. In fact, Cloud dance has its own consideration. Under the starry night sky, a touch of petite figure sneaked into the night. Yunwoo leaves everyone behind and plans to go back to the inner college to ask for something from the elder, although he doesn't know if the elder will give it to her. But she's going to get it. On the way back to Shinwang's Samurai Academy, it seems to take several days. However, Yunwoo has already made preparations. Wrap it with wind element to maximize its own speed. In 2 hours, I think I can go back. In addition to the 2 hours of return, it's just right to go back and forth in one night after the work is done. Late at night, a shadow appeared in the square of Inner College. Yunwoo stares around and doesn't find anyone else, so she puts away her furtive posture and walks out to the cultivation tower. Not surprisingly, I saw the elder, Elder Ta. The elder didn't seem surprised to see Yunwu. He seemed to have expected her to come back. Elder, I want to ask you for the temple map. Cloud Dance came forward, looked at the eye tower. The eyes of the stars under the night sky were full of light, and directly told the purpose of his trip. It's been a while since she entered the inner college, but she didn't find it all over the inner college. The only possibility is in his hands. After hearing this, the elder was not surprised at all. Yunwu frowned slightly. Her eyes were a little expensive, and she was a little confused. Did the old man know that the purpose of her coming to the college was not just for cultivation? Do you know where I'm going? Can I have that? Cloud Dance raises Mao to coagulate Big Elder, tiny pick eyebrow way. In fact, the reason why she is so calm is that even if she has just broken through Wuzuan's strength, she is not the old man's opponent, which can be seen clearly from her inability to see through his strength. There is another point, that is, the last time he defended her awakening, she owed him a favor. More importantly, of course, she didn't know where the map was. Otherwise, under the urgency, I'm afraid I would have run away with dirty things hearing this. The elder suddenly gave a dull smile, with a meaning that Cloud Dance could not understand. What is the old man laughing at? Girl, it's not impossible to give you a map. As long as you win the Three Kingdoms competition on behalf of the King of God's Samurai Academy, I can give you the map. Is that fair? Cloud Dance listen, eyebrow instantly a see you. This old man's wishful thinking play really good. Originally, she only promised him to take part in the Three Kingdoms competition. Whether she would win or not was another matter. But under such conditions, the estimated result is different. This is not to let her in the Three Kingdoms competition exposed. However, after a moment's meditation, Yunwu lowered her eyes. Lift Mao to see to that tower old. Suddenly the corner of the mouth, slightly a yawn. Can? If that's the exchange, I promise you, although she didn't want to win the Three Kingdoms competition, she won it for the temple map. Anyway, maybe it's time. That man's opportunity, it's a deal. After the victory of the Three Kingdoms, you'll come back and get the map. Big Elder listened to Cloud Dance agreed. Enigmatic light smile of say. This wench unexpectedly agreed. The result already can imagine. Cloud Dance nods. The Mao light passes Big Elder one eye, then turned round to leave. Soon, her figure disappeared under the starry night sky of inner college. The elder looks at the figure that the Cloud dances to leave. The corner of the mouth that the face has no expression rises slightly. The map to this girl's hand, perhaps, will be a good choice. The light murmured disappeared under the square. In the blink of an eye, the figure of the old tower just disappeared. Just out of the college, Cloud Dance felt a touch of familiar, can no longer be familiar with the breath hit. A pair of eyes inside a trace of helplessness. She knew she couldn't get rid of him. Not yet. The Cloud dances, the Mao light sinks, suddenly looks to the treetop behind him, the white figure with flowing silver hair. Suddenly, there was a violent airflow in the air, and a white figure came to the Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance lifted Mao to glance at a dragon to pour evil. The corner of mouth helplessly raises. You always follow behind me? It's clear that her strength has broken through Wuzuan, but she doesn't feel the breath of his following. Dragon Ching evil toward her evil spirit smile. Madame all ran. How can I sleep? Cloud Dance white eyes. Hands ring chest of walk. Really lazy to manage man this ruffian rascal appearance. When are you going back? Cloud Dance leisurely stop. Turn to see the dragon after death. There is a touch of worry in the eyes. What she said about going back is naturally long shugua. Dragon Ching evil, but just mouth yang. Evil eyes calm no wave. Seems to this matter, and not too big reaction. After the Three Kingdoms competition, I'll go back. Cloud Dance slightly alung, puzzled looking at him, said, You want to use the Three Kingdoms competition, the identity. Dragon inclined evil drooping eyes, a deep smile. Looking at the eyes of Cloud Dance is full of gentle doting. This little thing is to understand his ideas. Long Qingxia's intimacy rubbed her hair, but the bottom of her eyes flashed by an undercurrent. It's time, isn't it? Yunwu looks at him and doesn't speak anymore. That is what he called opportunity. As a matter of fact, she had already guessed, but when she heard what he said, she still felt that worry. However, he even decided that no matter how thorny and dangerous the road is, she'd go with him. Under the night sky, two people go forward hand in hand. It seems that nothing can stop them. Along the way, they thought about something, but they understood what each other was thinking. The next morning, the sky lit up slightly. Yunwu and his party set foot on the road to participate in the Three Kingdoms competition. Teach them with cloud dance, the early bird catches the worm. But I don't know, sometimes it's also very effective. But not long after they just stepped into the territory of Longziguo, they felt a strong fight. Yunwu looks back at the 5 people behind him. The corners of his mouth are slightly pursed, and his eyes are shining. Then he asked indifferently, "Go and have a look or go around?" With a smile in his mouth, Long Qingxie was defeated by her actions. Mingming was curious and wanted to join in the fun, but pretended to seriously ask their opinions. If he said detour, it is estimated that she will give him a cold face all day today. Go and have a look. Maybe you also participated in the Three Kingdoms competition. If you don't like it, you can solve it by the way and save your energy at that time. Long Qingxie looks back at the 4 people around him and asks for their opinions. All 4 nodded in agreement. In fact, it's because they have seen through Yunwu's mind cloud dance slightly jawhead, mouth slightly a hook, then go. Having said that, the purple figure whistling a sweep, the moment has been hidden in 100 meters behind the tree. Each of the 5 shakes his head, and the shadow passes by and hides. The sound of fighting came from the valley below them. At the moment, they're dancing in the clouds. They're on the cliff above the depression, under the shelter of big trees. The position here can be said to be a god's perspective. I haven't seen you for years. You're stronger. Under the mountain, Su Tian, who was wearing a blue robe and a hat, looked at the man opposite, and his quiet voice rang. It's the same with you, but it's still a draw. Standing opposite Su Tian, Su He in a gray robe. I saw his mouth slightly a yawn, cold humme, a trace of disdain and helplessness in the corner of his mouth. Cloud Dance looks at Jie Bang, just 2 people of fight, Mao Light Tiny Mi. Both of them are blue talents. They are 2 top martial arts masters. This ability is in mainland China, but it can't be underestimated. It is almost impossible for ordinary people to reach this level at this age, except for the students in inner colleges. The cloud dances the Mao bottom to meditate for a moment, slightly lifts Mao, the eye passes a silk to be clear. This is the territory of Longziguo. Are they students of Longkong Warrior Academy? Judging from their strength, they should be the students sent by Longkong College to participate in the Three Kingdoms competition. Cloud Dance looked back at a few people beside him, with a meaningless smile on the corner of his mouth, and said indifferently, I thought it was a world-shaking fight. Just as they were about to leave, 2 figures passed by and blocked their way. What are you doing here stealthily? Su Tian holds a long sword in his hand and points to the Cloud Dance in front of him. The cloud dances to hang Mao to stare at the sword in front of one-eye body, the corner of the mouth outline of smile some chilly meaning. Lift Mao to see toward Su Dai. It's not a wise choice to point your sword at me. Hearing the speech, Su Tian also pulled out a sneer, as if laughing at Yun Wu's arrogant words. The sword in his hand didn't move a bit. How long have you been following us? The cloud dances Phoenix Mao Mi. The cold meaning of the corner of the mouth spreads to open. The vision is deep to glance Su Dai. Follow. Oh, what do you think is worth following in you? Hearing this, his face suddenly changed, but he soon covered it up. Are you also in the Three Kingdoms competition? Can appear in this line, in addition to participate in the competition, is to make trouble. For this question, Cloud Dance did not intend to answer. Cloud Dance looked at the dragon and said, Let's go. Long Qingxie takes back his eyes on Su Tian, looks at Yin Wu, and nods. Su Tian looks at the Cloud Dance that ignores him to leave. His eyes are cold, and he feels like a great shame. Suddenly, with a flash of his sword, he stood in front of Yunwu again. In that moment, a purple light appeared. Bang! The heaven and man, together with the sword, flew out in an instant. Dust rises, leaves fall. Cloud dance a group of people. See all didn't see fly out of Su Tian and stay lung of Su He. Turn to disappear in two people's line of sight. Su Tian's mouth overflows with blood, and his back ribs are broken by a big tree. Looking at the cloud dance leaving, his eyes are surprised and angry. It looks like you've got people you shouldn't have. Suha looks at the embarrassed Su Tian and raises a smile of irony. Then, his eyes were dim, but he couldn't help glancing at the place where the clouds disappeared. Purple talent class above him? The speed of the girl's hand just now. He only got a faint purple shadow? Who is that girl? What strength? Also, the men who followed her could not see their strength. There should be a very small number of people like this in mainland China. But he met 6 people at one time, and there were still people who participated in the Three Kingdoms contest. Should we be lucky or unfortunate? After Yunwu left, they went in the opposite direction of Nirvana Yuntai. In the quiet forest, occasionally, the sound of low-level warcraft running away quickly subsided. Xiaowu, where are you going? Shengguan glanced at the woods and asked. That's it. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to stir up a smile lightly. Dragon Qing, evil low Mao a smile. Mao light meditation, tiny mi. Pass here, can arrive at Ni Cloud Terrace directly. Cloud dance lifted Mao to see one-eye dragon to pour evil. Mao bottom instantly flit past a touch of surprise. What a coincidence. When she was on the way, suddenly the dragon totem had a reaction. And that's where the strong reaction comes from. This is the first time that she came to China. Although I don't know why this abnormal point is, but can the tornado produce such movement? I'm sure the things in it must be good things. But I don't know. This happens to be the shortcut to Nirvana Cloud platform. It's a shortcut. There should be a lot of people taking it. Why doesn't anyone take this shortcut? Cloud dance micro frown. Lift eyes to see to dragon pour evil. Oh! Suddenly, without waiting for the dragon to reply, an extremely powerful roar sounded, which made several unprepared people tremble slightly. This roar, with the implementation of heaven and earth strong, the ground for a time actually humming vibration, eardrum almost broken. If not for their vigilance at any time and at any time, they immediately wrapped their bodies in Yuanli defense. I'm afraid that their eardrums would be broken. If you only listen to the sound, you can imagine the ferocity and size of the beast. What kind of warcraft is it so powerful? I'm going to break my ears. Just when Shengguan couldn't help but read, suddenly, a black giant in the distance suddenly jumped into the eyes of Cloud dancing. Cloud dance, a flash of fierce light, strong breath, tongue body. Be careful, everyone. However, as soon as the dragon's eyes saw the big black object, a deep smile rose from the corner of his mouth. Yunwu looks at the huge warcraft and squints her eyes. Is it level 7 warcraft? All of a sudden, the cloud dances. The eye light passes a touch of surprise. Because she felt that in the body of this warcraft, there was still spiritual power belonging to human beings. Can the 7-level warcraft be transformed into human form? No. If warcraft wants to turn into human form, it must break through the 9 levels. These 7 levels are absolutely impossible to turn into human form. What's going on? The size of this warcraft is huge. If it lies there motionless and small animals pass by it, it is estimated that it will mistakenly think that there is a mountain in front of it. Under the canthus, 2 ivory teeth were exposed. Face tightly wrinkling together, a pair of eyes, nose and mouth, tightly rubbed together, with a tail on the back. It looks funny. It's a warcraft controlled by human beings, and the people who control it have the same mind and share the power. Dragon Qing, evil sea cloud, dance puzzled eyes, mouth slightly young explained. Human-controlled warcraft? Is it a trainer? No. If it's a warcraft trained and manipulated by a trainer, its brutality will be worn away, and there won't be the roar of the fierce demonstration just now. After long, Qing Xie explained, a touch of color flashed in his dark eyes, and a mysterious smile was raised at the corner of his mouth. But his expression was just seen by Yunwu. This man, he knows this warcraft? Otherwise, how can I have this strange expression? It's not easy to get into trouble. Let's not waste our energy on it. Shangguan looked at the warcraft, and there was silence in his eyes. However, after hearing the words, the cloud dance suddenly flashed an undercurrent. What's not easy to get into is interesting. As soon as a cold voice fell, I saw the purple figure attacking warcraft like a phantom. Shangguan's face turned black, and the corners of his mouth twitched violently. Is it possible for her to leave if he doesn't say that? Can Dragon Qing Evil see this, but helplessly shook his head. What a smart little thing. As soon as the corner of the dragon's mouth turns, it will follow Chaoyin dance. Nangong, he looks at the purple shadow fighting with warcraft, and his indifferent eyes pass by a trace of helplessness. When Liang says, in front of people who are not easy to provoke, I don't know which one you think is not easy to provoke. As soon as the voice fell, the white figure swept towards warcraft. Shangguan's face turned pale, but he could not say anything to refute. He really innocent. No brain. Zhou Feiyu glanced at him and left, joining the battle. Who do you mean has no brain? When Shangguan heard the speech, he was a little annoyed. With a low roar, he caught up in an instant. Liu Bai stood in the same place, looking at the cloud dance entangled with warcraft, pulling the pale corners of his mouth, his dark eyes glowing with excitement. It's really an interesting thing. Cloud dance calls to pull a big knife, volleying to control the split, but all by warcraft easily dodge, on the contrary by its crazy running tail hit. Yunwu half kneels on the ground. The knife in his hand is straight on the ground. The black flame seems to be burning a lot, just like Yunwu's mood now. Anger. In the distance, the warcraft wagged its tail and rubbed its mouth and eyes into a ball. How could it smile at her? Yes, it's ridicule. What's more, it's still satirical and complacent. I can't help laughing. It seems that the 7-level warcraft really grow wisdom. Cloud dance Mao Guang a cold. The corner of the mouth surface a put on bloodthirsty, sun-cold smile. With the tail to show your policy? Then I'll cut it first. Warcraft see her Bingsun's eyes. Shaking tail suddenly stopped, straight taut stop in midair. It in the eyes of Cloud Dance, saw the familiar cold bloodthirsty, suddenly proud smile stiff in the face. And those figures who came at a gallop did not immediately join the fight, just quietly watching. Seems to want to know, at this moment, this man and beast in the end, which is more difficult to provoke. The cloud dances with the sword, and the figure is like a fantasy, shuttling around the warcraft. The roaring wind almost forms a vortex, encircling the warcraft. It's hard to tell which one is the real body. Cloud Dance looked at Warcraft's tail in the air. Her eyes narrowed, and her mouth suddenly raised a cold and evil smile. Bang! With the sound of the big knife, the air suddenly condensed, and then there was a dead silence. Cloud Dance figure a skim, steady fall in front of Warcraft not far away, bloodthirsty smile, like Satan's posture. And her hand at this time is holding that half of the bloody tail. Oh! Suddenly, Warcraft roared and jumped from the ground. Suddenly, the whole forest was shaking. I saw that the place where it stood was sunken, and suddenly it was much smaller fortunately. Yunwu had a good sense of self-knowledge and sealed the eardrum with spiritual power. It almost blocked its weird and fierce roar and vibration. However, the people behind her, hearing the roar, their faces changed slightly, and all their eyes looked at her. There is helplessness and resentment. Cloud Dance, but the corner of the mouth outlines a strange smile arc looking at that Warcraft pain his straight call. The Cloud Dance raises that half-tail, is shaking toward it. The corner of the mouth bloodthirsty smile does not reduce. Smile again, and so your mouth next time. See, just in Cloud Dance, that voice just fell. All of a sudden, Warcraft in fear and pain back to God, forepaw a swing, a touch of silver light toward the Cloud Dance attack. Cloud Dance eyes a sink, figure a flash, then hide past. The corner of the mouth is raising to put on a sneer. The black flame, big knife in the hand, is suffused with Morin's killing intention. Not honest yet. Yunwu threw away his tail and was about to come forward with a big knife. But he was held by Longkingsi. How can I use my wife to deal with this little matter? Let me give it to my husband. Dragon Qingxia dances in the clouds, and the evil spirit smiles. It's a mystery that can't be explained in the smile. Cloud Dance eyes slightly narrowed. Although she was angry, she was mostly tentative. This man doesn't really know this beast, does he? Of course, Yunwu didn't ask, but looked at him. Dragon Qingxia Yang mouth, looking back at Warcraft. Eyes a sink, leisurely walk toward it in the past. Warcraft saw him, exposed in the outside of the fangs. Toward him, threatening type of waved, a pair of eyes, angry vigilance of the dragon, poor evil. Dragon Qingxia glance, instantly floating on the back of Warcraft. Warcraft was about to fight back, but his body was stiff. Looking at the dragon, his eyes were full of fear. Suddenly, Yunwu felt that the ground under her body was shaking and frowning slightly, but she saw that the huge physical Warcraft was shaking, shivering. Cloud Dance pick eyebrow of looking at Warcraft. How does it change so big? In the next second, Dragon Qing evil figure a flash, has returned to Cloud Dance side. Evil spirit like low voice asked, how? For husband fierce? Cloud Dance smell speech, the corner of the mouth outline, smile not words. However, Shangguan, Zhou Feiyu, Lu Bai and Nanganji all seemed to be confused. He really didn't do anything, just stood on the Warcraft for a while. The Warcraft was scared all over shiver. What's going on? However, it's when everyone is curious. All of a sudden, an unusual smell in the forest suddenly appeared. Who? The sight of Yunwu and others suddenly looked in the direction of the breath. A figure slowly came out of the forest. The man was wearing a silver robe, a pair of phoenix eyes full of charm, and a warm and uninhibited smile at the corner of his mouth. It was like a spring breeze, steady and natural. The whole person looks a bit bohemian, some gentle, some evil indifference, just like a contradiction. Zhuangli, don't you want to stop running around? Why are you still fighting with people? The man took a look at the shivering Warcraft, with a helpless smile on the corner of his mouth, but there was a kind of indifference and dignity in his words that could not be ignored. Cloud Dance looked at him. Intuition told her, this person is not a simple character. And Zhou Feiyu, at the moment of seeing him, in his sharp eyes, was surprised and examined. The relaxed and joyful atmosphere around him suddenly became dignified. He was looking at him in Yunwu. The man also looked at Yunwu with a smile on his lips, but Yunwu felt so dangerous. Nice to meet you, little dance. After the man came out of the forest, he came to the Cloud Dance and extended a friendly hand. Cloud Dance looks at a hand in front of body, micro frown. Call her a little dance? He knew her? How in her memory? This is the first time to meet? The man took back his stiff hand in the air and continued to say, Xiao Wu, do you want to pass here? In the future, you can walk at ease. Whoever dares to stop you will die. Then he turned his eyes to the Warcraft. I saw that the Warcraft named Zhuang Li, who was scared or clever, touched the man's eyes and fell on the ground. I know me? Cloud Dance Mao light a cold. Affirmation is to have never seen this person. Of course, it can even be said to be familiar. Well done? Cloud Dance squints. Yes, you are my master's apprentice's cousin's distant relative's neighbor's son's future daughter-in-law. Can you be unfamiliar? Sidalon said, but he looked at Yunwu sincerely. He thought that he didn't lie. Cloud Dance has a black face. She only heard the last few words, the future daughter-in-law, His Royal Highness, the Prince of the Kingdom of An, has come all the way to Longshu. Is it that the Kingdom of An can no longer accommodate you? Just at this time, Zhou Feiyu coagulates Situlan and comes to him with deep eyes. The cloud dances to smell speech. The Mao light passes a silk undercurrent. He unexpectedly is in Kingdom Prince? But she had no contact with the Kingdom of Ann. He is a Prince of An Kingdom. How can he know her? Cloud Dance can't help but slightly squint a Mao son, stare at that C2 land, but in the mind of Brush of Turn, guess this is exactly how one thing. C2 land smiles and looks up and down at Zhou Feiyu. Suddenly, the corner of his mouth said with a smile, "The Kingdom of An is really small, so I came to Longshu to explore the way, but now I'm disappointed. I'm going to the Zhou dynasty to look for my eyes. This brother knows my heart." Zhou Feiyu's face turned black when he heard the speech. But soon, Zhou Feiyu said with an awe-inspiring smile, "Your Highness has a great ambition. I also want to see you succeed, instead of stealing chicken and eating rice." Situ Lan patted Zhou Feiyu on the shoulder to reassure him. "I don't want to do anything that I'm not sure about." Then he continued to look back at Yunwu, and the charming eyes narrowed toward her. "In the next Situ Lan, remember my name?" The cloud dances to smell speech. The eye ground tiny dark flow of flash. Lift the eye tiny to glance a dragon to pour evil. See, at this time of Longqing evil, is both hands embrace chest, smile not smile of looking at C2 Lan. "I like this girl very much. I don't know if I have a lover?" Situ Lan looked back at the dragon and asked him. There was a smile in his charming eyes. Longqing Xie hugs the cloud dancing waist with deep eyes. However, the corner of the mouth sneers but raises to look at that C2 Lan. "I covet my woman's person. Sooner or later, I will not let go." After hearing this, Situ Lan bowed his head to endure a smile. Then he sighed with a sad look. "I'd rather have my intention, but the beauty is merciless, alas." After a sigh, Situ Lan suddenly put his eyes on Yunwu again. Suddenly, she grabbed her sleeve like excitement and said, "Xiao Wu, be careful in choosing a mate. If you jump down a fire pit, you can't get out. I'm the straw in the fire pit. Grab me and leave the fire pit." Yunwu was shocked by his sudden excitement. "Fire pit? Is there something wrong with the Prince of An Kingdom?" But soon, Cloud Dance's eyes flashed a touch of meditation, which is also a prince, and the image is good. But what he said is so wrong. Who does it feel like? Yunwu suddenly turns her eyes and glances at the dragon nearby. It can't be Cloud Dance pour also quietly. The corner of the mouth suddenly outlines a touch of radiant. Stretch out a hand to pull back own sleeve from that C2 Lan hand. "Thanks, but I prefer the fire pit. It's a big space." Sidolan was stunned. "How big is the fire pit?" But Sidolan said with a smile, "Then I am the sea. Leave the fire pit and sink into the sea." Cloud Dance mouth raised a sneer. "Sorry, I am allergic to the smell of sea. Nausea." "Disgusting?" Sidolan took a puff from the corner of his mouth. Dragon Qing, evil smell speech. The corner of the mouth appears a smile. Eyes like provocative looking at Situlan. Situlan gave him a helpless smile. "All right." With the voice of a fall, Cloud Dance again look at him. He has been riding on the back of the Warcraft. While walking, I don't forget to sigh. Merciless is a woman since ancient times. My heart is full of wounds. Poof! Hearing this, I almost feel the impulse to spray rice. The cloud dances to endure the corner of the mouth twitch, but slant ahead, glanced at the man nearby one eye. The next second, an elbow. Dragon Qing, evil eat, pain a hum. Let go to embrace her waist of hand. The corner of the mouth is still dyed with a smile. After that, Yunwu didn't ask him anymore. Instead, he got up and continued to go into the forest. Anyway, Sidolan just said that they could enter at will, which was naturally the best. The change of the tornado was in the forest. She had to see what was in it. A few people went to the deep forest together. However, the more you go into it, the more gloomy you feel. The trees are tall and dense, showing a sense of seclusion. It's strange. Generally, there are some warcraft or other small animals in the deep forest. But along the way, I didn't see any warcraft. Is it the beast of Sidolan that empties out the road for them and makes them unable to walk? Until half an hour later, suddenly, an anomaly appeared in the forest. Cloud Dance raises Mao to see a few black robe people are escaping. Is it from the Beast Gate? I'll go. Just as Yunwu was about to catch up with her, Zhou Feiyu stopped her step. Her figure flashed and immediately caught up with her. I'll follow you. Shengguan followed closely. After two people chased past, two people's figures soon disappeared in the woods. However, at this time, on the other side of the woods, the figure of the man in black was also found. The cloud dances and the eyes are cold. I'll go. When Yunwu wants to catch up again, Nangong Yi and Lu Bai's figures go ahead of her. All of a sudden, she was left with the dragon. Seeing Nangongji and Lu Bai disappear, Yunwu has a bad feeling in her heart. She always feels that she has been played and teased. Don't worry, it will be okay. Dragon Qing, evil corner of the mouth a bend. Looking at the cloud dance, frown up eyebrow. The Mao light flits past a smile. Cloud Dance looks at him one eye. The eye ground flash, a touch of deep. I don't think so. Is this man the one who made it? See Cloud Dance stare at him to look at. Long Qing, evil pick eyebrow. A face, innocent shrug. Otherwise, I'll go and have a look. Are you waiting for me here? Cloud Dance thought for a moment. This forest does not have a strong sense of killing. They should be okay. However, she still nodded. After all, the strength of Dragon Qing Xie. She was very relieved. Protect yourself, or you'll feel sorry for your husband. Dragon Qing, evil spirit a smile, the figure schemes, then disappeared in front of Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance looked at the shadow of the rapid shuttle, mouth slightly yawn. Although this man's mouth is cheap sometimes, she can't bear it, but the occasional caring words are very useful. It's just as she continues to move on, Yunwu's eyebrows gradually wrinkled, because she suddenly felt that the more she walked, the more she felt that there were two eyes looking at her, with the spirit of search, but found nothing unusual. Just then, all of a sudden, she found that the light of the forest in front of her was obviously bright, and she could hear the sound of huge waves. The elements of cloud dance and wind wrap around the body, and soon sweep out of the woods. Outside the woods, what comes into view is a cliff. On the cliff, the waterfall flows straight down, and below it is a river. Yunwu looked at the endless waterfall and cliff. His eyes narrowed slightly, thinking, this should be at the foot of a cliff, right? Standing at the bottom of the cliff, the clouds raised their heads and glanced at the silver waterfall. Not surprisingly, I really found that through the water flow, a faint shadow could be seen. Is it a cave? Cloud Dance slightly pick eyebrow. It seems the place of the dragon roll induction should be here. When Yunwu glanced at the waterfall, he didn't have any hesitation. With a jump, he immediately headed for the waterfall cave. Poof! The sound of entering the water. The figure, like a phantom, swept into the entrance of the waterfall. And the moment the cloud dances into the cave, two figures appeared in the forest on the side of the cliff. The angle was just enough to see the scene clearly. This woman is really attractive. Situ Lan Ning the place where the clouds disappeared, with a smile on the corner of his mouth. Dragon Qing evil looked at him one eye, Mao light slightly a dark. My woman does not need who to evaluate. Are you jealous? Situ Lan seems to have found a new world. His eyebrows are inclined to fly. What are you doing here? Long Qingxia looks at Situ Lan, and his sword eyebrows sink slightly. Situ Lan put away his uninhibited appearance and said, you are not his opponent now. You need my help. I'll say it if I need to. Long Qingxia's mouth was smiling, and he looked at him sideways. Situ Lan didn't hold on for 2 seconds, and his solemnity disappeared again. Can't you say yes? For you, Zhuang Yu's tail has been cut off, and now he still quarrels with me. Now I give my baby to your woman in vain. Can I stay here for a few more days? Isn't it living? It will grow out sooner or later. It's going to take more than 10 days, isn't it? It's an estrus with the mother now. Without the tail, the chance of being thrown is almost 100%. It's used to being dumped too. One more time, it's okay. C2 Lan sighed when he heard the speech. Having seen his ruthlessness for a long time, he could not help sighing and shaking his head for Zhuangzi. However, Sido Lan then looked at him and said, I'm here for a few days. When you come back, please let me know. Leisure is okay. You have to hide your identity. Many people in Zhou Feiyu and Long Xu will recognize you. You have to change your face. Long Qingxia looks at the entrance of the cave. His eyes are dark. Sidu Lan's face schwa's black come down. Mao Guang indifference of looking at Long Qingxia. What all right, this don't discuss. It's not going to work. We don't discuss anything. Long Qingxia looked at him and did not step back. Sidu Lan glanced at the dragon and thought for a moment. Then he said with a smile, I can change my face, but I want to stay by your woman's side for a new identity. On the one hand, I can protect her. On the other hand, I can monitor her for you. Dragon's evil face turns black. Just use this face. It doesn't matter. Sido Lan looked at Long Qingxia's figure and then turned to leave with a smile. Boy, that woman has really become your weakness. I don't know whether to worry or be happy for you. After shaking his head, Sido Lan turned and disappeared into the woods. Yunwu walks into the cave and takes a look around. The cave is not big, and there are no forks in all directions. There are only 4 smooth stone walls. It seems that there is nothing inside. It doesn't look like a place to hide good things. However, as soon as she came in, the tornado reaction was more intense. As if what attracts it, let her step by step into. If not, as soon as Yunwu approached, he saw a small piece of jade fishing on the stone wall in the cave. However, when Yunwu saw the jade, her eyes were shining. It's too familiar. Just like when she got the incomplete fragments of the tornado, her breath fluctuated. It's a fragment of a tornado. No wonder the tornado reacts so much. However, Yunwu raised her eyes to see that the dragon scroll was hung by a vine, and always felt strange. It's like someone put it here on purpose. However, the vines are covered with moss, which seems to have been released for some years. It's estimated that she's too thoughtful. A little anxious, Yunwu jumped up in the air, took out a dagger to cut the vine, and fished the dragon into his hand. She looked at the jade in her hand, and almost didn't need her to do anything. The dragon scroll in the Chaos Hall automatically inhaled the incomplete dragon scroll in the jade. At that moment, Yunwu seemed to feel that the tornado seemed more complete. Just did not expect so easy to get the tornado fragments. Always feel a bit unrealistic. After all, the sky is not a good thing for nothing. However, it is at this time. Gigi, a fierce and sharp bird call broke the sound of the waterfall and came to the ear of Cloud dancing. At this moment, she seemed to feel the anger of the bird, as if it was aimed at her. Cloud dance, eyes a sink, figure a flash. In the twinkling of an eye, figure left the cave. As soon as she got out of the cave, the figure of Dragon Qing Xie came back to her just like time. Little thing, you can run so fast. I've been chasing you all the way from my husband. Yunwu glanced at him suspiciously. Chasing her all the way? This man really thinks she's a 3-year-old. However, Cloud Dance did not break the point and asked, Are they all right? They're okay, but my husband's hurt. Long Qingxia's charming and handsome face looks at the Cloud Dance like grievance. Injured? His breath is steady and full of zhongqi. Is this the injured state? If she believed it, she would be stupid. What's wrong? Let me see. Cloud Dance pretends to anxiously inspect him up and down. The worry in the eye is obvious. Here it is. Dragon Qing evil refers to the heart. Evil spirit of the hook mouth, magnetic way, feel about to be torn. Cloud Dance glances at his chest. His face is cold, but there is a trace of helplessness in his eyes. Guyun has used poison to fight poison, which is also a truth. Just tear it twice. Long Qingxia chuckled and said, "Little thing, you are so cruel." Cloud Dance, whitey one eye, helpless way. Don't make trouble, it came. It, of course, means that at this time, a golden eagle galloping from the sky. The cloud dances to lift the mow of looking at that from empty but come of gold carve. Tiny CU eyebrow. Level 7 Warcraft? It's really rare to meet such a rare advanced Warcraft. Golden eagle gallops in mid-air, a pair of powerful wings whistling. However, its sharp animal eyes are staring at Yunwu angrily, a pair of claws stretched straight. It seems that it wants to tear Yunwu. Did she provoke it? Cloud danced depressed, however, but soon put this gold carving, think is to guard the dragon in the cave. Perhaps it is more reasonable to think so. However, it seems that the gold carving is not easy to cope with. Dragon Qingxia looked at the golden eagle with a curved corner of his mouth. The golden eagle, the high breed of flying beasts, is still a 7-level flying beast. It is estimated that it is difficult to tame with wisdom. You should be careful, little thing. The cloud dances to smell speech, coagulate one-eyed dragon to pour evil. Is he telling her to tame it? Look at the ferocious momentum of the golden carving. The animal's eyes are nimble and flickering, and it has the general humanity. If it's a cub, maybe it's easier to tame, but if you want to tame the 7-level Warcraft, it's not easy. In particular, it is even more difficult to keep its animal nature tame. However, Cloud Dance has suddenly aroused some interest. Good, then I'll try. She has read the trainer's secret script. Just like training animals, taming animals can grasp their weaknesses, defeat them at one time, and wipe out their brutality. Then they can completely tame them and become obedient ones. However, that kind of Warcraft, however, is no different from domestic animals and has lost any aggressiveness. What Yunwu wants to tame can't be that. To be tamed, it is necessary to let it keep its animal nature and let it be willing to obey. That is enough addiction. Suddenly, before the golden eagle attacked, Yunwu took the lead in throwing his sword at the golden eagle. The golden eagle looked at the figure in front of him. His eyes flashed with anger, and his sharp voice screamed again. Huh! It's very harsh. Cloud Dance mouthy Yong, brandished the big knife in the hand. Split empty but go, hit that half-empty gold carving directly. However, the golden carving is extremely flexible, so it hides. Huh! The roar pierced the sky. However, the golden eagle is a little strange and did not attack immediately as if taking into account something. The cloud dances, the eye light is narrowed. The black flame big knife is waved again. The sonorous and sharp sound gallops in the wind, and the strong power splits to the golden carving in an instant. This time, the golden eagle hid slowly, and the feather on his back was brushed off by the big knife. Huh! The golden eagle was angry. The cloud dance is not stupid. Naturally, it can't be seen. Although the golden eagle is fierce, it has never really attacked from the beginning to the end. It has been tamed by others. However, it makes cloud dance more interesting. I don't know. Can you tame it from others to yourself? It seems more challenging. However, at this time, Yunwu's eyes were clear, and he suddenly said, I don't know if it will be more enjoyable to cut off the hair on your buttocks and make a down jacket. Gee girl, don't go too far. Under the roar of the golden eagle, a man's voice suddenly spits out. Cloud Dance smell speech eyebrow a pick, some curious with interesting. Although her cannibal flower, small stink, are born will be people's words, also saw that red fire dragon words. However, this other Warcraft can speak, she still feels quite novel. So, you can talk. Who is your master? Let's hear about it. Maybe I'll think about not herring your ass. The cloud dances like a smile. Among the golden eagles, being plucked from their buttocks is the most shameless thing. It's a naked shame. Of course, for this point, as a human cloud dance, naturally do not know. You arrogant human, I can't bear it. Under the roar of the golden eagle, the attack suddenly hit. Cloud Dance see this. Not from the corner of the mouth, sneered general glance at the golden carving. The next second, wind element wrapped. Wave the big knife. Every time the place of attack is gold carving on the ass. Next, when Long Qingxie watched Yunwu fight with the golden carving, he couldn't help laughing. Under the black dosha, there is warmth in the deep and unpredictable eyes. There are always some strange ideas in this little thing's head. All of a sudden, Jindiao jumps and flies to the cave. Standing outside the cave, Dragon Qingxie's figure has already reached another not far place, making room for the golden carving. If this little thing wants to tame it, it must do it by itself. The cloud dances, his eyes are covered with frost, and his figure sneaks into the cave like the wind. But in the moment of entering the hole, Zheng lunged for a moment because there is no gold carving in the hole. She saw the golden carving enter the cave. How could it? Cloud Dance can't help but squint eyes, look around the cave, but there is still nothing unusual. Is that golden carving still invisible? The spirit is out. Suddenly, Cloud Dance suddenly raised a bloodthirsty smile at the corner of his mouth. The big knife in his hand was awe-inspiring. The next second, he roared to chop at the stone wall. Chomp! The big knife fell towards the corner, and the powerful crash sound rang out in an instant. Ha! The golden eagle roared. Yunwu didn't hurt it. Instead, it hit its buttock feathers and cut off half of them as a deterrent warning. However, the golden eagle was furious and completely aroused the beast. Sharp claws in the void on the Cloud Dance head-on attack. Yunwu wants to meet you, but the golden eagle is extremely cunning. All of a sudden, the huge body of the golden eagle, with a sharp claw, is facing the back of the cloud. A touch of hot feeling came to my heart. Yunwu felt pain like his back was torn open. It felt like a piece of meat was pulled alive. The back of the blood flow more than, soaked in purple clothes. Drop by drop on the stone floor, blooming like a flower. Cloud Dance eyes sharp, coagulation and her face-to-face gold carving, eyes light chill deepening. Dragon Qing evil see this scene. Pupil mouth suddenly async, a touch of anger in the depths of the eyes swing open. Move your body and come as fast as you can. When looking at the back of the Cloud Dancing blood flow, suddenly emerge a touch of cold in the fundus. You dare to hurt her? All right, give me the medicine first. Yunwu takes out the medicine from the space and gives it to Long Qingxie to help her stop bleeding. But she, the line of sight, has been looking at the gold carving. The interest in the eyes faded a little, gradually cold up. Animals, after all, are animals. However, the injury also gave her a wake-up call. When she feels that she is in control of victory and wants to play with the enemy, she ignores that the enemy is the enemy after all. Your contempt is to give your enemy a chance to fight back. Long Qingxie helps Yunwu finish the medicine and looks at her back with some ferocious wounds. It's because he's too careless. It's because he thinks things go too smoothly. Ignore this as the 7th level breeding of Wisdom of Warcraft. How can you not brain in her fight? This is its territory after all. It's familiar with the terrain. However, no matter who hurt her, he will pay the price. Dragon Qingxie's eyes suddenly cold, looking at the golden carving, mouth with a cold smile, step by step toward the golden carving. The golden eagle seemed to feel something, but his body trembled. It's mine! Cloud Dance looked at Long Qingxie's bloodthirsty indifference, suddenly reached out and grabbed his hand. I'm going to make it my mount. You can't hurt it. This golden carving, originally she just thought it was interesting, tame to play. But the crafty wisdom of this golden eagle, on the contrary, makes Yunwu want it to be a mount. Dragon Qing, evil slightly a Zheng mount? The golden eagle has hurt her. Is she going to tame it? See Cloud Dance that resolute eye son. Long Qing evil also gradually. hide the bloodthirsty inside the eyes. If there's another time, I'll kill it. Good. Cloud Dance, slightly jawhead, happily agreed. Because there won't be another time. Looking at the retreating dragon, Yunwu looks back at the golden carving again. This time, the bloodthirsty corner of her mouth was stained with a strange smell, and the scarlet light in her eyes loomed. Animals are sensitive to breath. Looking at the Cloud Dance, the golden eagle suddenly felt a kind of uneasiness. He felt shivering all over, and there was a trace of fear in his sharp eyes. Don't be afraid. I won't kill you. Cloud Dance pulls the corner of mouth to it to smile slightly, smile medium cold on gloomy. Although the golden carving is afraid, it is a 7-level advanced warcraft, and pride naturally exists. You just handed in the contents of the cave things. Does it really guard the tornado in the cave? Cloud Dance a cold smile. Eat into things and then let me spit out. Do you think it is possible? However, you just said hello to me. This time, I'll have a good time with you. At the end of the speech, you turn your hands, and when the fire element jumps up, you clasp your hands. The moment when the sound of a carving rises. Suddenly, a huge fire sculpture appeared in front of the cloud, almost like to burn the whole cave. The temperature in the air soars in an instant. Cloud Dance looked at the corner of the golden carving's mouth, and his eyes were cold. I made it according to your image. Try it and see which of you is more fierce. You is it the summoner when the golden eagle felt the unique flash of the Cloud Dance. He was stunned. Then, there was a flash of panic in the beast's eyes, staring at the fire-carving eyes, full of unquestionable. Cloud Dance, smell words, pick eyebrows. To deal with it, she didn't let her real contract beast come out. Can it also feel her identity as a summoner? However, Cloud Dance will not answer this question. I saw that the fire eagle in mid-air suddenly attacked, pierced the air with the domineering and arrogance of fire, directly hit the golden eagle. The gold carving spouts a water column from its mouth, while the fire carving spouts magma flame from its mouth. When the two collide, the whole cave is shaking, and the fire light permeates most of the cave. Yunwu looks at the water column of the golden eagle, with a smile on the corner of his mouth and a brilliant light in his eyes. He's really a good guy. For a moment, the rubble rolled and the scene blurred. After a long time, the fire carving was scattered, and the golden eagle also lies on the ground, breathlessly watching the clouds. The hair on the buttocks has been burned, just the fire carving condensed with fire elements almost defeated it. How strong is this human girl? What do you want? The golden eagle no longer has the strength to fight. However, where does it know that this Cloud Dance skill has not really been revealed? The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to outline the radian, walked toward the gold carving, said with a smile, You say I contracted you? Gold carving Zheng ran. The next second would rather die than surrender, like shaking his head. No way. It would never want to be a servant of the summoner for life. Why not? Can you stop me, I think? Cloud Dance sneers, and the corners of his mouth are cold. Summoners can force contracts. I won't promise. The eagle's sharp and angry voice suddenly rang out, and he wanted to get up again. Cloud Dance micro-frown a word away. You really say more frustrated, more brave. To put it bluntly, is not no good or bad. At this time, the 4 people who were led by the man in black came back. What's the situation? Shengguan looks at the bloodstain on Yunwu's back. His eyes are cold. He looks at the dragon with some puzzlement. Yunwu was injured like this. Did he just do it? Long Qingxi glanced at him and said lazily, I advise you not to move, or you will be beaten away. Shengguan smells speech. Just want to step forward. Suddenly Emil, the corner of the mouth fierce a twitch. Get hit and fly? In his words, at the same time, let Zhou Feiyu and Nangong Yi, who were closely behind, also stop. Bang! In an instant, the huge body of the golden eagle was kicked out with a fist. Straight up the waterfall like a meteor, the cloud dances in the air and doesn't give the golden carving any chance to react. The rattan, like a whip, instantly rolls up the golden carving in the air. He swung his hand to the ground. Bang! There was another earthquake on the ground, and dust rose. Huh! The golden eagle let out a cry of pain. See, its smooth feather is wet. All stick on the body, look like a giant drowned chicken in general. Originally, the strong man was fierce, but now he looked very embarrassed. At this time, the cloud dance, looking at the gold carving on the ground, frowned, obviously had no patience. It's up to you whether you agree to the contract, but it's up to you not to agree to the mount. In order to tame it, you can't use hard force. It's hard to tame when the strength is light. Too much of her time has been wasted. In fact, the summoner can summon her own contract beast as a mount, but with the personality of Cloud Dance, she doesn't want to aggrieve her own contract beast. What's more, just like Bai Shuer, Xiao Cho can't be a mount. It's a 7-level gold carving. Nangong Yi looks at the golden carving, and his eyes are slightly surprised. You know, in mainland China, level 7 Warcraft has already given birth to wisdom, but it's not everywhere. Zhou Feiyu and others seem to be quite surprised, especially when they see that the 7th level Warcraft is so vulnerable in Yunwu's hands. However, when I heard that Yunwu wanted it to be her mount, I understood. If she doesn't need this flying beast, she won't bother to fight with it. It will be solved with one blow, why me? The golden eagle looks at the cloud dance, and the beast's eyes are angry, but at the same time, he is not willing to follow the fear. I don't understand why she had to choose it. In fact, if Yunwu didn't take a fancy to it and hurt her, it would have been roasted chicken rather than drowned chicken. Cloud dance smell speech, but squint mouse son. Fancy this need reasons? Immediately, Yunwu added, follow or die. Choose. The eyes of the golden carving beast are angry, and they don't agree to die. It's a 7th level Warcraft. Even if she is stronger than it, her master is not bad now. On the contrary, she takes it as a mount. It's definitely not something the golden eagle can do. Don't worry, little thing. It has promised you. I do not know when. The dragon went to her side, looking at the golden carving, mouth stained with a mysterious smile. Yes? Cloud dance slants to overdue, doubt to see an eye nearby man. In the eyes of the golden eagle, it was obvious that he didn't mean to yield. When do I? Golden beast eyes Canthus eyes like angry want to refute. But the next second, its huge body seemed to be shocked and trembled. Almost a second later, I saw the birds and animals drooping down, bearing an angry voice. I promise. Cloud Dance can't help but frown at a Longqing evil one eye. Looking at his mysterious smile, his eyes looked at him. What did he do to make this guy willingly agree? It's like her fight just now. Just for fun, Longqing she had touched her eyes and took out a hairy thing from her arms. I think this little thing is very cute. I guess you must like it. I'll give it to you as a dowry. Smell speech. Cloud Dance not from want to white him one eye. However, when he saw the little guy in his hand, Yunwu suddenly drew his mouth. It was a little bigger than the palm, and its feathers were soft and fluffy, as if it had just jumped out of the egg, and it was a lovely little gold carving. The man is so dark that he even thought of taking the child to coerce him. But where did he get this little gold carving? Yunwu stares at Longqing Xie for a long time, but soon she doesn't think much about it. In any case, the results are impressive. I can't help but make her feel that sometimes it's better to be shameless. Cloud Dance took over the small golden eagle. The little guy also mischievously pecked her fingers. Yunwu did not do anything after she handed it back to the golden carving. Indifferent way, since promised, follow me later, but you don't have what name? The return of the child made the golden eagle feel a little relaxed, but he replied in a more subdued tone. No, I live here all the year round, and I don't need a name. After that, you will be called Jinling. Jinling? As soon as the huge body of the golden eagle shakes, she says, can it still oppose it? I don't need a mount yet. You're here for the time being, but I'll call you out if you need one? Yunwu stares at Jinling and asks. Because it's not a contractual relationship. If she needs to use it later, she can't come back here. Jinling looked at Yunwu and said in silence for a moment, You drop a drop of blood on my eyebrow. When you need me, just call my name will do. Since Jinling agreed, it will follow her in the future, waiting for her to call at any time. Warcraft has no human cunning and will not do anything against it. However, it was originally after having children, just want to live a quiet life. Now it seems impossible. Just a drop of blood? Cloud Dance didn't hesitate. When the hand brushed, a drop of blood had fallen between the eyebrows of Jinling. The bloodstain was quickly absorbed by it. At that moment, Yunwu really felt that there was an invisible line between her and Jinling. Of course, it's not like the special contract between Hongling and her. Now that it's solved, Cloud Dance naturally doesn't need to spend time here. Cloud Dance raises Mao to see to Longqing Xie, the corner of the mouth of Yang. Let's go. After a while. So the six left. When you get the things, you also get the mount. This trip is a great harvest. Beyond the cliff, you can see the Nirvana Cloud platform of the Three Kingdoms competition. At this time, many people have come to Niantai, mostly to see the excitement. And the real game will start tomorrow morning. Nirvana Cloud Arena is an extremely open and majestic venue. The big arena can't see the edge at a glance, while a big challenge arena has been set up in the middle of the arena with seats all around. The seat is surrounded by iron railings, which should be to prevent ordinary people from breaking in. After all, on the day of the competition, it's unimaginable that there are too many people. They all rush into the competition field. It's estimated that there will be no competition. In the best view of the challenge arena, there are 3 dignified dragon chairs. There are several miniaturized dragon chairs on the left and right of the dragon chair. One row looks like 2 words, noble. These chairs should be for the emperors and princes of the 3 kingdoms, or powerful ministers. The 3 kingdoms competition, in mainland China, is the most anticipated event. It is said that on the day of the competition, the emperors, princes, and important officials of the 3 kingdoms will all come to watch the battle. So it is also the arena that decides the future and destiny. As for how grand, it is estimated that we will see it tomorrow. Are you going to be here? Cloud Dance looks at the dragon to pour evil. The Mao light passes a touch of meditation and worry. Longqing evil smell speech. Pet drowning touch her hair. However, his deep eyes narrowed slightly, and the corners of his mouth outlined a bloodthirsty Moriran. Those who should come will always come, and when the opportunity comes, it's natural to do it. Cloud Dance, slightly jawhead, agree with his words. But at the same time, there are also some worries. Hayo's words have never been forgotten in her heart. She and he have personally seen the strength of the national teacher of Longshibua. However, in addition, there are forces behind this national master. Beastgate. It is estimated that it will be beyond her imagination. During this period of time, she thought almost every day, how far has the influence of the Beastgate spread? However, no matter what the situation, since he has decided, she will accompany him to the end. She tries to make herself stronger. Strong can protect him. Hard to train their own forces, thinking that one day, when he needs to be able to pierce the sky for him. Long Qingxia looks at Yunwu's worried eyes, with a smile on his lips. How could he not understand her? This little thing, in his affairs, always loses the ability to judge. Is her man the kind of person that women protect? Is he a man who is beyond his capacity? Still, he enjoyed it. At least she did not hide the care. Let him feel very happy. However, Zhou Feiyu, who was standing not far behind, looked at the clouds, and the sharp edge in his eyes flashed faintly. After the competition, he needed to go back to the Zhou dynasty and take back everything that belonged to him. When it's all over, he'll let this woman come to him. his every tiny expression, but all by one side of the South Palace, EC in the eye. I advise you to hold back, so as not to cause unnecessary trouble. Nangong, he stands beside Zhou Feiyu and looks up at the distance with a warning in his cool voice. Zhou Feiyu looked at him with a sneer. Is this a minister saying such a thing to his master? Is it possible to make a decision? Nangong Yi's indifferent eyes glanced at him, then turned and left. However, his cool and secluded voice came to Zhou Feiyu's ears again. I just want to protect her. If anyone is against her or force her, I don't mind cutting it for her. I hope you're not one of them. That clean, indisputable figure, for the first time, appeared a hazy cold. Zhou Feiyu looked at the figure with an awe-inspiring smile. Is he being threatened? Oh! Sarcastic sneer, silent in his mouth. There are more and more people in the competition, and it seems that all the participants have come. Cloud Dance can feel the competition field, and the spiritual power of the participants can be quite strong. It seems that it is not easy to win the Three Kingdoms Championship. However, the Three Kingdoms competition is not only a major event of the Three Kingdoms, but also a matter of honor for the Three Kingdoms. Naturally, all countries will choose the most top students to fight. This is not surprising at all. The participants of the other two colleges are chatting enthusiastically. They represent the honor of the college. Naturally, they can arouse a little bit of admiration, and the cloud dances that come to them are just like outfielders. Sitting in a humble corner, no one should have noticed them. However, anyone who passes within 10 meters of them can't help but take a look at them and are attracted by their strange breath. One seems to be sick and weak. A dark, weird place. One is awe-inspiring. One is smart and lazy. A man with white sand on his head will never be infected with the world. A mysterious man with a black veil on his head. 6 people, there is not a trace of similarity, but it makes people feel that there is a very different existence, and there is a sense of being out of place with the people present. Such 6 people, even if they want to keep a low profile, I'm afraid they can't keep a low profile. All of a sudden, a straight sword pierced the air with strong power, extremely sharp stab to the cloud. At this time of cloud dance, playing with the hand, I do not know where to get a delicate wooden sword in the sense of a sharp hit, eyes cold. But he didn't even raise his head. He put the wooden sword in the position where the sword came. Schwa! With a touch of cold light and shadow stagnated. Everyone's eyes seemed to be in a daze for a moment. Even breathing stopped for a long time. It's going to kill before the game starts? Which college is that woman from? Why can't you even hide? Isn't this a death wish? Yinwu looks at the wooden sword on her chest. The willow eyebrows wrinkle. It's a pity that a beautiful sword is destroyed then. Yunwu and the sharp sword on the wooden sword were thrown away together. What a life! But for this wooden sword, she would have died. After seeing that Yunwu was okay, everyone put down his heart. However, people were a little ignorant. Unexpectedly, a wooden sword could block a sharp sword. This is not just good luck. But look at the attitude and expression of the people present. It is ignored. I'm sorry. I'm going to miss you when I have a fight with my friend. The sword was thrown on the ground, clanging. At this time, a human figure came and stood in front of Yunwu. Long Qingxie and other men look up and down at him and make sure there is no intention of killing him. Then take back the sun to continue to do their own thing. And Cloud Dance takes back to put on the sharp sword of Mori cool vision. Restore consistent cool, slightly lift Mao. Pull the corner of the mouth. Nothing. The man is in her lift Mao of a moment, tiny as Zheng. Ordinary appearance, seemingly sick and weak. This girl is sure to participate in the competition, not to watch the game. However, the man immediately smiled, jaw head, a palm, a suction. The sword will return to the hands. The wooden sword has been divided into 2 parts because of this unexpected episode. Yunwu's several people suddenly became the focus of everyone. However, when seeing Cloud Dance's weak and morbid posture, there seems to be a trace of doubt in everyone's eyes. As long as the people who come to Nyantai are all students of the Three Kingdoms College, this woman is naturally one of them. It's just that the woman's breath is too weak, isn't it? Just now, that unintentional sword hit, in addition to the sick woman, did not respond, even a few people around her, but also one did not respond. Didn't you find out? The power of counterattack without any vigilance? Which college do these individuals represent? What a waste. But at this time, in the crowd, I don't know who suddenly yelled. Oh, I know her. It's like the last time when the new students of Shunwang Samurai College enrolled students, the ninth lady of General Zhou Chaoyun's military mansion, who openly went through the back door in the enrollment. What? Miss Yunfu 9? Isn't that a waste according to legend? How can I get into college? It's said that we're going through the back door. It's a big fortune in Yunfu. What's the difficulty in entering the college? It is a group of people. You say a word, I say a word. The language is sharp. The tone is ironic. Looking at the eyes of Cloud Dance is like looking at a mean thing in general. Then the one with black dosha beside her is not the legendary dragon's son, right? A voice of doubt once again attracted everyone's attention. If Miss Yun Jiajiao is a legend, the name of waste in the waste of Dragon Shitsi in the Zhou dynasty is not weak at all. See, that person doubts a voice together. Many people coax again. Oh, isn't it said that Long Shitsi has been disfigured and covered with black gauze all day long? That's for sure. It's said that Miss Nine and Long Shitsi have been paired by the decree. At this moment, it's a perfect match. Ha ha ha. The crowd burst into laughter again. It was an undisguised irony and ridicule. Everyone looked at the Cloud Dance and Dragon Poor Evil can't smile. It's like watching a joke of satisfying yourself with the pain of others. When Zhou Fiyu heard these words, he looked at those who were most critical. His eyes were dark, and a sense of killing appeared in his eyes. Yunwu listened to their sarcastic smile. A frosty smile passed in her eyes, and a harmless and bloodthirsty smile was outlined in the corner of her mouth. But it was gone in a twinkling of an eye, and she didn't seem to care about these boring things. And Long Qingxie didn't seem to care what they said. People are angry because they take some things too seriously. Sometimes, once they take some things seriously, they will lose. He never mind people saying he's rubbish, because those people self-righteous will pay the price. Shaoling Rui, the man just now, frowned and looked at Yunwu with his eyes. Is she really Miss Nine in Yunfu? And the man in black gauze beside her is the ugly dragon's son? Her fiancé. Cloud Dance glances at Shaoling Rui, who is still standing in the same place. He frowns slightly and says, "Is there anything else?" Shaoling Rui took back her gaze and said politely, "Are you a participant? Dragon Sky or God King actually? Isn't that a stupid question? It is said that she is the ninth miss of the Cloud family in the Zhou dynasty. In addition to the Xinhuang Warrior Academy in the Zhou dynasty. Can this be Long Kong?" Cloud Dance, a trace of impatience. However, without waiting for her to speak, Long Qingxie took the lead. "Can you get out of the way? It's blocking my sunshine." Shaoling Rui's face suddenly changed. He didn't know whether he was embarrassed or angry. Then he bowed his head slightly and said, "I'm sorry." Then he turned and left. Cloud Dance raised Mao to give him a look of appreciation. "This performance is good. Enough poisonous tongue. Dragon Qing, evil a face, doesn't matter if spread a hand. Evil spirit a smile way. I just say the fact." Cloud Dance, whitey one eye, say you fat still pant. Dragon Qing, evil mouth a yong. Put the head on her shoulder, circle her willow waist, closed eyes to rest. Cloud Dance glanced at him, his eyes flashed a smile, and sighed helplessly. After leaving, Shaoling Rui returns to his position, but his eyes are always watching Yunwu. What's good about a piece of trash? Qingfeng, who competes with Shaoling Rui, glances at Yunwu, as if he is afraid of tarnishing his eyes. He quickly takes his eyes back. Shaoling Rui shakes his head. He always remembers Yunwu's cold and indifferent eyes. He always feels that something is wrong. Can represent the college to participate in the students. How can be waste? But her weak breath, after about an hour or so, the participants of the college had almost come, waiting for the arrival of the emperors of the three kingdoms. As usual, in this arena competition, the judges were also the emperors of the three kingdoms. The students of Longkong and Huangshu College are all scrambling to sit close to the emperor. Even if they can't participate in the challenge, they can at least show their faces. Only a few of them still sitting in a corner like a nap in general. Just then, there was a sudden commotion in the crowd. A big wave of students seemed to be surging. Suddenly, the whole field was roaring. The king of Zhou came. With the sound of a notice, Lu Mei frowned and looked into the crowd. I saw, under the protection of the bodyguard, a tall and noble figure came slowly in the crowd. His face with a smile, a pair of half-narrowed eyes are very cold. Isn't that Zhou Batian? Seeing Zhou Batian, Yunwu looks down slightly and unconsciously glances at Zhou Feiyu. At this time, Zhou Feiyu also looked at Zhou Batian, a pair of indifferent appearance, sharp eyes in the complex, cannot say what is the feeling. When Long Qingxie heard the emperor of Zhou dynasty, he also glanced up at Zhou Batian and gently raised the corner of his mouth to show a meaningless smile. Cloud Dance looks at that weak overlord sky. The eyes ponder. The Shenhuang Samurai Academy represents the Zhou dynasty. If they win the competition, Zhou Feiyu can be regarded as another great achievement. Now Long Qingxie is also regarded as the son of the Zhou dynasty. She is Miss Yin Jiajiu, and Nangong is the son of the national teacher. In this way, except for Liu Bai, what they are doing now seems to be very meaningful, and they are fighting for face for the Zhou dynasty. Thinking, the cloud dances the corner of the mouth to stir up a sneer of sarcasm. Zhou Batian sat in the middle seat and nodded to the students who were in some emotional mood. However, he had the dignity that a king should have. Three kingdoms competition, the three emperors will attend, and the students can see the country's leader's side. Cloud Dance looked at his face that wiped to deal with smile, the corner of the mouth sneer more deeply. However, after Zhou Batian sat down for a while, his sharp eyes swept down the stage. It seems that they are looking for someone. When he saw the position of Yunwu, the undercurrent in his eyes twinkled. It is estimated that he has also heard about the news of Yunwu and others sent by the Shenhuang Samurai Academy. As for other news, it is not known whether he has heard it, because Zhou Batian, after glancing at Yunwu and others, took back his sight, as if he didn't pay much attention. Here comes the emperor of the kingdom of An. At this time, with a pass, the king of In situ, Jin, also came. Cloud Dance lifted her eyes, looked at the figure coming in the distance, and slightly narrowed her eyes. She doesn't know much about the kingdom of In, but she is not weaker than any other country if she can be listed as one of the three great powers along with the Zhou dynasty and the state of Longshu. Compared with the Zhou dynasty and the state of Longshu, the kingdom of In is somewhat mysterious. A tall and handsome figure swept into the eyes of Cloud Dance. Looking at Situ Jin wearing a silver dragon robe, Cloud Dance's eyes passed a little surprised. I thought that the emperors should put themselves at the highest level of dignity. But I didn't expect that the emperor of the kingdom of In was dressed in such a common way that he didn't look like a king, but he was natural and handsome. Suddenly, when Yunwu glanced at the shadow of Situ Jin's body, he could not help but eyebrow. Isn't that man Situ Lan? At this time, Situ Lan's eyes are also looking at them intentionally or unintentionally, and the corners of his mouth are still smiling. Cloud Dance micro-frown, eyes a low, mouth outline. It's true that like father, like son, the two of you are carved in the same mold. Does he look good for his husband? Suddenly, Long Qingxie's voice with low magnetism came from her ears. Cloud Dance Mao Guang am I. The eye ground flashed a pure light. The light smile greets his Mao Sun Wei. If I say he is more beautiful than you, then what will you do? Kill him. Dragon Ching, evil Mao Sana am I, a silk chilly idea attacks on. Answer away without hesitation. Cloud dance is a smile. Smile is extremely mysterious cold. Are you willing to? For a while. Dragon Ching Xie Shun Mao a smile. Pet drown a point to her forehead. You this small thing. He knew that with the intelligence of this little woman, she would see something. Cloud dance looks away. The corner of the mouth is lightly picking a light smile. In fact, she found that this man is like a riddle that can never be solved. Whenever she finds out one of his secrets, there will always be another one. It seems that there is no way to solve it. Just like him now, she knows this secret. Maybe he has another secret she likes the feeling. Like his mystery, like this mysterious man, layer by layer peeling off the feeling. Perhaps when one day he has no secret, it means that they can live an ordinary life without being so tired. The Emperor of Longshu is here. With a pass, Cloud Dance, and other 6 people's eyes, all looked at the figure that came in. Including Liu Bai, who has been quiet all the time, is also looking at the Emperor of Longziguo with his eyes. Cloud Dance looked at the so-called Emperor of Longshu Kingdom, and a little doubt appeared in his cold eyes. People who can be emperors should be very ambitious, wise, and shrewd. But how did she see from the eyes of the Emperor Longshu that she was confused and had no focal length, just like a puppet without soul? However, when Yunwu saw the figure in a black robe supporting the Emperor of Longshu Kingdom, Long Yaoza, his heart suddenly understood. That person is not who is the national teacher of Longshugua. Ignite Ice. Yunwu looks at Mo Yebing and finds that he is not humble around Long Yaoza. On the contrary, he has the illusion that he is the leading role. This is definitely not the attitude of a monarch or a minister. However, this makes Cloud Dance more certain. I'm afraid the Emperor of Longshu Kingdom is under control. I'm afraid that the complicated situation of Longshugua is not as simple as what others see. Is this the reason why Long Qingxia has been waiting for an opportunity to return to China? Cloud Dance turns her head and looks at the dragon nearby. I found that his eyes were bright at the moment, and his eyes were always calm and evil. However, in the eyes of Cloud Dance, Long Qingxia has returned to his usual attitude. Raised the corner of the mouth, evil spirit of looking at her. How to look at so for husband? Have you been called the marshal? Cloud Dance, slightly jaw-head. Mao Guang contains a touch of light warm smile. Really handsome. She was impressed by all his elaborate plans and was distressed by his forbearance, but excited that he was about to fight back. The man who has experienced the baptism of suffering and forbearance is really handsome. Dragon Ching, evil eyes, deep smile. Glanced at the ink night ice. The corner of the mouth raised a touch of cold edge. This woman, understand him, that's enough to give him a lot of confidence. The representatives of the 3 countries have come, and the distribution in the early stage of the competition begins. For a moment, the whole venue was quiet. The 3 Kingdoms competition is a good match the day before the team, the second day direct PK, which also saves a lot of time on the second day. An old man with white hair took the Holy Scroll to the challenge arena. He was the master of the Nirvana Cloud Arena, Fengqi. Next, let's invite the participants of the 3 Kingdoms competition to come on stage. The contestants of Huangshu and Longkong immediately got up and went to the challenge arena with their heads held high. The strength of those who can enter the 3 Kingdoms arena in the college cannot be underestimated. Most of the people present looked at them with admiration and admiration. The contestants of Huangshu and Longkong have been on the stage. Everyone looks very powerful. Fengqi waited for a while, but he didn't see the people from the Samurai Academy on the stage, a pair of white eyebrows to pick. Then he cleared his throat and said, "The contestants of the Samurai Academy, come on stage." There was a dead silence in the ring. People began to talk about it. "Isn't the man from the Samurai Academy here? Can't you be scared to come?" It seems that the King of God is just like that. It's getting worse and worse. They've lost to us for 3 years in a row. I'm afraid. In the public satire disdain, Joe Bation's face on that seat was not very good-looking. However, it is at this moment, Cloud danced in the corner of the humble, slowly stood up, eyes calm without wave. It seems that their comments have nothing to do with her. Then Long Qingxia, Zhou Feiyu, Nangong Yi, Shangguan, and Lu Bai all stood up. 6 in all, contestants of the King of God, Samurai Academy. People looked at the 6 people who stood up and were stunned for a moment. A moment later, am I right? It's them? 2 trash, 2 monsters, 2 normal people, perfect match. Another ridicule, no room, naked ridicule, that you're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.